Strike up the band for a farewell Phillies style to the best defensive player in baseball history. 15-time All-Star, 13-time Gold Glove winner Ozzie Smith on the field and set to be honored between games of our doubleheader. On the field for the final time at Veterans Stadium, we'll go head over heels for the Wizard on a special edition of Game Time coming up next. Here in this very same stadium that all of baseball paid tribute to that man, Ozzie Smith. In his final appearance as an All-Star, it came on the turf here at Veterans Stadium. Tonight, a very special evening for Ozzie Smith, his final regular season appearance at Veterans Stadium, and a special tribute to the Wizard will come your way. Between ball games of this, our doubleheader, Phillies and St. Louis Cardinals are coming up next. Hi again, everybody. I'm Larry Rosen. We welcome you live to the 400 level between games of this doubleheader on Ozzie Smith Tribute Night with special ceremonies about to unfold on the field before us. It's already been an eventful evening. Scott Rowland will always remember this as the night that he debuted as a big leaguer, the 21-year-old. He was sharing the field with Ozzie Smith, and when he got his first ever hit, it was handed to him by Ozzie Smith for posterity's sake. Ozzie Smith has redefined the position of shortstop, certainly a first ballot Hall of Famer. His victory tour around the National League continues as we look back at the career of Ozzie Smith.
Well, didn't get much of that, and it could be trouble. Ozzie makes another one. Ozzie Smith.
Just another in the unending series by the surest hands in baseball history. Osborne Errol Smith, now 41 years young, 19 years of service in the National League, redefining the boundaries of his position, adding dignity, embodying class. The man known simply as the Wizard is fully prepared to say farewell.
You know, you just get to a point in time in your life when you realize that it's time to move on, and you know, it's always something that as a professional athlete, you know, you hate that time comes, but that time eventually comes for all of us, and I feel right now is the time for me. I think that just having a 19-year career kind of speaks for itself, you know, be fortunate or blessed enough to be around that long. You know, not many people are around that long, and I just have to feel that I'm blessed and very lucky to have had the opportunity to play professional baseball for 19 years.
And on this night, Philadelphia pays tribute to that career. Named to his 15th All-Star game, another National League record, provided another moment for Philadelphia to say thank you, a moment Smith will never forget.
That's definitely the latest of a lot of great moments that I've had in baseball, and you know, to have had the opportunity to come here and play the last All-Star game that I'll have the opportunity to play in, be able to play it here and get the ovation that I got was very heartwarming and something that I'll treasure for a lifetime.
Just as we treasure these moments for a lifetime, moments that could only come from the hands and heart of Ozzie Smith.
My thing has always been to be the very best that I could be, and I worked extremely hard at being the very best that I could be, and I think that in doing that, I've been consistent at what I've been able to achieve in the game, and I've had a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm happy with my accomplishments.
The beard has flecks of gray in it. He made his major league debut after just 60-some minor league games in April of '78, and Jimmy Carter was the precedent. The Oscar award-winning film The Deer Hunter, the prime rate up near 12, and Alex Rodriguez was still in diapers when Ozzie Smith made his major league debut. Of course, debuted as a San Diego Padre, traded head up for Gary Templeton 4 years into his career. Gary Templeton is long gone. Ozzie Smith will be long gone to Cooperstown as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Ozzie Smith about to be feted on the field at Veterans Stadium. He actually passed Larry Bowa for the most ever games played by a National League shortstop, so it is fitting in this tribute in Philadelphia that he will be presented his gift by the Philadelphia Phillies from the hands of now third base coach Larry Bowa. Bowa, of course, was a longtime shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies. Ozzie Smith, now 41 years of age, originally picked as a fourth rounder for the San Diego Padres. That head-up trade, as noted, for Gary Templeton. 15 times a National League All-Star. That is a record. The 13 Gold Gloves came in succession from 1980 to 1992, and fittingly at the All-Star game in 1996 in Philadelphia, he symbolically passed the torch to Barry Larkin. He has had a great impact on the young shortstops like Larkin and so many others. We likely will see a young shortstop in Game 2. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but first we will send you down to the field for the special ceremonies here at Veterans Stadium, hosted by Phillies play-by-play announcer Harry Callis. Down to the field. Harry?
Ladies and gentlemen, between games of tonight's doubleheader, a special tribute takes place on the field. Serving as your master of ceremonies, the radio and television play-by-play voice of the Philadelphia Phillies, Harry Callis.
Thank you, Danny. Good evening, everyone. The date was June 7th, 1977. On the 4th round that day, the San Diego Padres selected a shortstop out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in California. 9 other shortstops were drafted before him, including 6 on the first round. He played just 68 minor league games that summer at Walla Walla, Washington. And after 4 years with the San Diego Padres, he was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight we're honoring a man who has set the standard for shortstops. A man who is retiring at the end of this season, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. Here are some of his numbers. Listen to these: 2,489 games at shortstop. Most ever for any National Leaguer, second only to Luis Aparicio. 2,435 hits, 13 Gold Gloves, 15 National League All-Star teams, including 10 consecutive years as the starting shortstop. 8,313 assists, more than any shortstop in baseball history. 1,576 double plays, more than any shortstop ever. And off the field, numerous awards. 1983, the NAACP Image Award for sportsmanship, humanitarianism, and community activities. 1989, the Lou Gehrig Memorial Award. 1992, Rainbow Coalition Man of the Year. 1994, Branch Rickey Award for service above self. 1995, baseball's prestigious Roberto Clemente Award for community service. There's one other number which will enter Ozzie's life. 2002. That's the year he'll be elected to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. You've heard the numbers. Now let's turn our attention to Panavision for a special tribute to this future Hall of Famer. Veterans Stadium, the greatest defensive shortstop ever to play the game, and one of the game's all-time gentlemen, Ozzie Smith. Presentation on behalf of the entire Phillies organization is our greatest shortstop. In National League history, Ozzie's number 1 in games played. This man is number 2. Number 2, Larry Bowa. Larry is presenting Ozzie with an exclusive Wedgwood Philadelphia Bowl featuring historic moments in Philadelphia. Ozzie will also receive a display stand inscribed Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz. Thank you. Thank you, Ozzie, for all the wonderful memories. Thank you.
These moments, it's always very tough in times like this to know the right thing to say. But if I can say one thing, I'd like to say thank you for sharing my dream, for your generosity, for your admiration, and all of the hospitality that you've shown me in my trips to Philadelphia. I'd like to thank the Philadelphia organization and everybody who has had the opportunity to share this dream with me. Thank you.
Ozzie, it was a joy to watch you play. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz, baseball's all-time greatest defensive shortstop. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
A lovely ceremony on the field at Veterans Stadium. As you would expect, Ozzie Smith embodying class and dignity as he has since he came out of San Luis Obispo College now nearly 20 years ago. He played in Game 1 and got what's likely his last Veterans Stadium hit in that ball game, which turned out to be a crackerjack ball game with lots of history to share with you. We will come back to Veterans Stadium and get set for game number 2, share with you highlights of Game 1. That and more as this special between games edition of Game Time continues. The Major League debut of Scott Rowland, his first hit, and more coming up next.
Philly's own Big Green Dancing Machine wants you to be his dance partner during the August 30th Phils-Dodgers game. Kids between 6 and 14 can enter Prism's Fanatic Pal contest for the chance to win a Dance with the Fanatic, a Fanatic t-shirt, a Prism beach towel, and 4 tickets to the game. Just send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number by August 23rd to Prism's Fanatic Pal contest. P.O. Box 1252, Ballackinwood, PA 19004. Prism's Fanatic Pal contest. Enter today. Want to do something new this summer? Check out the first annual Dancing Bear Festival, Sunday, August 4th from 2 to 11 p.m. at Wiggins Park on the Camden waterfront. It's a day of music and fun for all ages in honor of Jerry Garcia, featuring Dos Hermanos with former Grateful Dead keyboardist Tom Constantine, Colonel Bruce Hampton and the Fiji Mariners, the Illuminati, Splintered Sun, Living Earth, and more. Tickets are $15 and are available at all Ticketmaster locations. The first annual Dancing Bear Festival, Sunday, August 4th at Wiggins Park on the Camden waterfront.
Ace Ventura is in Africa. I'm alive! I'm alive!
Say uncle! Say uncle!
And Africa will never be the same.
Do I have something in my teeth? Say hello to my stinky little friend!
Warm night and a lot of warmth in the air as the Philadelphia Phillies and the city of Philadelphia pays tribute to Ozzie Smith between games of our doubleheader. Phils have already won Game 2 coming up shortly from Veterans Stadium. Amazing in years to come that Scott Rowland at 21 years of age will remember that his first ever game at Veterans Stadium was the last game ever at Veterans Stadium for a Hall of Famer, Ozzie Smith. Certainly something to remember. And it was an interesting ball game. Crackerjack, really great performance by Russ Springer, his best as a Philly. We'll check the highlights. And, of course, Ozzie in the lineup and leading off for St. Louis in Game 1 and would crack a base hit up the middle. And then Ozzie would show those 41-year-old legs. Ray Langford with the bullet to the gap in right center field. Ozzie on first base running all the way. The relay from Doster Santiago can't hold on to the ball, and look at Ozzie safe on the dive. 1-0 St. Louis. Still 1-0 bottom 4. Scott Rowland in his second big league at bat. You'll find that Rowland likes to use the whole field. A warning track shot, a stand-up double. Who's got the ball for him but Ozzie Smith? And they put that one into posterity. This error by Luis Alicea made it a 2-1 ball game as Ricky Otero scored, and then a 2-inning save out of Ken Ryan with Ricky Vitalico likely not available. Phillies win a good ball game in Game 1 by a final score of 2-1. The summary shows Springer's longest National League outing, his longest outing in 3 seasons. Rowland's first hit, a big RBI double for David Doster. Donovan Osborne, the tough luck loser, went 6 innings and a losing cost in Game 1. Your pitching matchup for game number 2 features Michael Mims, who's been a good starter since coming back from Scranton, 1-2 in his last 3 outings, against Andy Bennis, the older Bennis brother, 2-0 with a 4.50 earned run average. And Bennis will be on the mound for St. Louis when game number 2 comes your way in just a moment. Stand by, everybody. We'll come back with more of Game Time Gets You set for action in Game 2 from Veterans Stadium in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Brian Collard from the Phillies Clubhouse with a great offer for Phillies fans on the Phillies Clubhouse store today. And we have a special 4-player 16x20 photo autographed by the 4 Philly Hall of Famers. Leading the pack, Mike Schmidt, Robin Roberts, Richie Ashburn, and Steve Carlton. All 4 have signed in beautiful bold blue Sharpie pen on a photo that was taken at the ceremony at Cooperstown, New York, site of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Mike Schmidt, the all-time leading home run hitter as a Philly, a member of the great 500 home run club. Robin Roberts, one of the great pitchers of all time. Richie Ashburn, the new Hall of Famer, a member of the famed Philly broadcast team from the early 60s. And Steve Lefty Carlton, the second all-time leading strikeout leader. It comes with a special certificate of authenticity of these 4 great Phillies, Schmidt, Roberts, Ashburn, and Carlton. Call the toll-free number on your screen to order now, or send your check or money order to the address below. And look for me, Brian Collard, here on the Phillies Clubhouse store on Sports Channel.
Guy has just started working for the biggest producer in Hollywood.
I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you could start right away.
And he thinks he's in heaven.
You
Ow! Who do you work for?
have
If you were in my toilet bowl, I wouldn't bother flushing it.
no brain.
Too bad. He's gone to hell. Trimark Pictures presents Kevin Spacey, Frank Whaley, Swimming with Sharks.
And welcome back to Veterans Stadium for game number 2 of tonight's make-up twilight doubleheader. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Wheeler along with Kent Tekulve, and a pretty good ball game to start out this doubleheader night. Phillies winning the first game by a score of 2-1. Teeked a good ball game, but you know you can't help but talk about what happened between games. A real nice feeling for Ozzie Smith.
Well, let's go back to game 1 first. Russ Springer did an outstanding job for the Phillies. You know, Jim Fregosi had to be concerned tonight. Schilling was used up last night. Mulholland was traded. He's got a pitching problem. There's no doubt about it. He's got to pull 2 guys out of the bullpen to start the doubleheader tonight. Springer does an outstanding job. So the Phillies, even though they didn't score a whole lot of runs, win a nice ball game in the first game. Then in between games, you got the tribute to Ozzie Smith. And, you know, what a class guy he is. He's been that way his entire career. Great, you know, the reception that he got from the Philly fans at the All-Star game. Got another great one tonight. Yeah, it was kind of funny during the first game. Every time he came to the plate, he got a little bigger ovation. It was only because the crowd just kept getting bigger as the game went on. Not a whole lot of fans here at 5:05 when we started, but as the game built and Ozzie was playing game 1, the ovation kept picking up. So just a great tribute to Ozzie between games and a great win for the Phillies in game 1.
Well, there are a lot of new faces around this ballpark, and we're going to go down to Todd Callis right now, and he's going to tell you if we're going to have some more new faces in the lineup for game number 2. Todd?
That's right, Wheels. In his debut in the first game, we talked about Scott Rowland. I thought it was unique that when he got to second base, the first man to greet him was the guy playing his last game here at the vet, Ozzie Smith, and the Phillies hope Scott Rowland playing in his first of many. Here in game 2, another new face on the left side of the infield, shortstop Ozzie Relaford. Yesterday around this time in Tacoma, he was on a golf course playing in the Tacoma Tigers tournament, a golf charity tournament, and now here he finds himself in a major league game. Got on a plane, arrived here right in time for game 1, and here he is in the lineup for game 2. Another new face. Back up to you guys.
All right, Todd, pretty good pitching matchup in game number 2. The Phillies hope they can get something out of Michael Mims tonight. Anything like they got out of Russ Springer in game number 1 would be just fine as Michael moves in as a starting pitcher. And for the St. Louis Cardinals, it'll be Andy Bennis. Andy Bennis right now one of the hottest pitchers in the league as he has won his last 6 decisions. Stay tuned for game number 2. It's coming up right after these messages.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Hungry? Grab the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages and have dinner delivered right to your door. By the Philadelphia Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Always Coca-Cola, always the Phillies. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies, featuring full-service evening and 7-day banking. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the insurance companies you can lean on.
It's taken an entire year to build. Along the way, things were changed, rules broken. Now it's finally ready. Announcing the Dodge Summer Clearance. Get a great deal on Dodge Caravan, the first and only minivan to be named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Buy for 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Better act now, because summer clearance means our best sales year is nearly over. And it'll take another 12 months to build our next one.
Time. You never seem to have enough of it. Gotta go here, gotta be there. So when do you have time to bank? Midnight? Sunday morning? Why not? At Mellon,
thank you for calling.
we offer 24-hour telephone banking services, hundreds of ATMs, full-service offices, plus many Acme Market offices open 7 days a week. Sound convenient? Call 1-800-MELLON-24 and find out how you can bank where you want, when you want. Mellon PSFS.
New Philly Fanatic Franks. He's so great, you just gotta try him. 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 New Philly Fanatic Franks. You just gotta try him.
And we are back here at Veterans Stadium as the Philadelphia Phillies take the field for game number 2. It's a gorgeous night for baseball here at the Vet. And here's the way the St. Louis Cardinals will go in game number 2. Royce Clayton leads off and plays shortstop. Ray Langford in center field. Ron Gant, the left fielder. Brian Jordan in right field. Gary Gaetti, the third baseman. John Mabry at first. Danny Schaefer catches game number 2. Mike Gallego at second base. On the mound, 9 and 8 on the year, the big right-hander, Andy Bennis.
And getting the starting assignment for the Phillies in game number 2, 6'2", 190-pound left-hander Michael Mims. Mims making his 12th start of the year. He's kind of bounced back and forth between the starting rotation and the bullpen. The 27-year-old's last start was July 23rd at Cincinnati when he took his 6th loss by a score of 5-3 in that ball game. He pitched well. He pitched 7 innings, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs though, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Defensively for the Phillies in game number 2, Todd Zeile is at first base, Mickey Morandini at second. Desi Relaford makes his first start for the Phillies and just acquired yesterday from the Seattle Mariners will be at short. Scott Rowland in his second appearance for the Phillies at game 3 or at third base. Greg Jeffries is in left field. His second game out there. Ricky Otero in center. Jim Eisenreich gets the assignment in right, and Mike Lieberthal is behind the plate in game 2 for the Phillies.
There is a new shortstop, having a word there with the young umpire Bruce Streckman, so it's possible that Desi Relaford has just seen a familiar face.
Might be the first familiar face he's seen for a while.
Yeah, look at this. See, a AAA umpire, and now here comes Desi Relaford, and he must have looked around and said, hey, man, I know you.
Yeah, this ain't bad here. This is the big leagues. Both of them enjoying it.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So there is Relaford, who will play shortstop in game number 2 with Roland over at third base. And here we go with Michael Mims on the mound, 1-6 with a 5.68 earned run average, facing Royce Clayton, who did not play in game number 1. Clayton batting at 279. And a nice tribute to Ozzie Smith between games, emceed by Harry Callis, and then Larry Baugh presenting some gifts to Ozzie Smith, which was very appropriate because they were 2 of the better shortstops of their time. Mims pitches hit foul third base side. Mims is coming off a very shaky outing as a relief pitcher last time. Now let's go over the umpires. That's Mark Hirschbeck behind the plate, Charlie Williams at first, Bruce Dreckman at second, and Steve Ripley at third. Mims got smacked around in 2/3 of an inning, 3 earned runs, 4 hits against the Pirates on Sunday, as he had to come out of the bullpen when Bobby Munoz was knocked out early in that one. His last start, he lost 5-3 to the Reds on July the 23rd, pitching 7 innings in that one, giving up 5 earned runs. So Mims making his 12th start of the year as Clayton fouls one off right side out of play. It'll be Clayton, Langford, and Gant here in the first inning of game number 2. Phils won the opener 2-1. They have beaten the Cardinals 2 straight in this series, both 1-run ball games. Clayton fouls another one back off the screen behind home plate. Clayton with 14 doubles on the year. Lately he's been hitting a lot of singles. Good athlete. Number 1 pick of the San Francisco Giants. And comes from California, from Southern California. Fouls one towards the Phillies dugout. That was a changeup, and it's 1-2.
I'll go back to the job that Russ Springer did in game 1. You know, giving the Phillies 7 strong innings, good performance, and you know, even the benefits of game 1 carry over into game 2. The Phillies a little short in the bullpen right now on bodies because of having to bring Springer and Mims out of the bullpen to start tonight. Only Ken Ryan had to pitch out of that bullpen, so Jim Fregosi probably a little more comfortable about his bullpen situation going into game 2 and not having to have used 3 or 4 guys in game number 1. So the bullpen is fairly well rested. Ryan the only one who worked in game 1, so Mims has a little bit more backup to go in game 2.
Struck him out, but the ball gets away from Lieberthal, bounces back to him. He has time. Did he get him? Yes. Boy, normally when those balls go to the backstop here, Teak, they hit that padding and die, but that baby came back to him.
Yeah, it did. It came right off the backstop, right back to Lieberthal. Lieberthal out to the mound. You think he got crossed on this pitch the way he just went after it. Went right through the wickets all the way to the backstop, but bounces back nicely. Good play by Todd Zeile at first base also to get into foul territory and take that throw. Zeile, unexperienced about playing first base, was able to move into the foul side and take the throw from Lieberthal. So fortunate break for the Phillies in the fact that the ball bounces back. Good play by Zeile at first base.
And you said
what? He's done a couple good things down there at first base for a guy that just moved over tonight.
Yeah, and you're talking about him getting crossed up too. That may have happened again. That happened in the first game when Pagnozzi got hurt on that play.
Yeah, and we saw that ball go right through Lieberthal's wicket.
Pitch is outside. Let's head down to the field for Todd. Todd?
Wills, you mentioned how that ball bounced back. 2 reasons for it. First of all, the pads used to be against the bigger wall, and they would cushion more and have the ball die right by the wall. Plus, these are about 5 feet closer to the plate, so there's not as much room to run back for Lieberthal. These extra seats behind home plate are going to be here, by the way, until the first Eagles game, so you can expect to see the short backstop for a little while longer.
Well, it certainly saved the Phillies a base runner right out of the chute here in the first inning. Thank you, Todd Callis.
Those seats, of course, were added for the All-Star game, and as Todd mentioned, they're going to stay in place until they have to start converting the stadium back and forth between baseball and football.
And the first Eagles exhibition game shouldn't be long before they play here. I think it's when the Phillies are in Atlanta on that Thursday. Two balls and 1 strike on Langford. A breaking ball and a good one. Swings and misses. 2-2 to Ray Langford with Ron Gann on deck. Mims is 6'2". He's a 190-pounder, 27 years of age, born in Macon, Georgia. Picked by the Dodgers in the 24th round back in June of 1990. He's 10-13 lifetime in the big leagues. All of those decisions with the Phillies in the last 2 years. Another breaking ball. Did he check? Yes, he did, and it's a full count. Ray Langford with a lot of extra base hits, 23 doubles, 5 triples, and 18 home runs. Had a double in game 1. Fastball hit hard to Relaford, who kicks it. Well, the fans, of course, welcome him to Philadelphia with a good round of boos as the first ball that goes to him kicks off the heel of his glove. Absolutely ate him alive, and that'll be an error on Relaford.
Sharply hit short hop to Relaford. You have to wonder immediately about, you know, in the PCL where he was playing before, how much AstroTurf is there out there? How much experience has he had playing on the turf? Because this was just a routine short hop on the turf that just got on top of Relaford before he could get his hands out in front, and as you mentioned, just ate him up.
Well, you can expect him to be out here taking a lot of ground balls in the next few days. They didn't have time to work with him tonight because he got here late coming in from the West Coast. I think you said he arrived around 5 o'clock. So they, you know, Larry Bowa will be out there hitting him tons of fungos in the next few days. He will get used to the turf quickly here. Gant hits one to right field, a lazy fly ball. Jim Eisenreich in right field in game number 2. Ozzie puts it away. That's the second out here in the first inning. And that'll bring up one of the hotter hitters in all of Major League Baseball for the last month. He had a great July. Probably sorry to see it end is Brian Jordan, and an even 300. Did not play in the first game.
Gant and Jordan both had game number 1 off. Tony La Russa deciding that he was going to only play them 1 game, so they're going to put him in the lineup against the left-hander Mims.
Gant did pinch hit, and as you said, he had the entire game off. Look at the July that he had. Yow. So he'll get some votes for player of the month. A lot of RBIs.
Twice during the month of July was player of the week.
That's 2-0. Whoa, is that a long ball? Brian Jordan with his 14th home run of the year. They're both unearned, but it's 2-0 St. Louis on Jordan's blast to left field.
You mentioned the runs unearned because of the error by Relaford, but nonetheless on the board is Brian Jordan just unloads to left field. Counts 1 ball and no strikes. Take a look at the pitch right here. A breaking ball by Mims that didn't do much, just kind of hung out in the middle of the plate, and Brian Jordan got all of that one. He knew that was gone right from the time it made contact with that bat.
There was some catch out there too by that fan. So Brian Jordan hits a bolt for a 2-0 lead, and Gaetti fouls one into the upper deck off to our right and back end of play as somebody boots that one. Gaetti in game number 1, as you see the overall numbers on him, was 1-for-4. He struck out in the 9th inning in a big spot. He didn't like the call on him. It was a curveball from Ken Ryan. That's a curveball from Mims. 0-2. Mims making his first appearance this year against the Cardinals. Misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gary Gaetti. And another foul out of play by Gaetti. On deck is Mabry, another left-handed batter. As we mentioned, Brian Jordan, one of the hottest hitters in the league in the month of July, picks up right where he left off. No more football for Brian Jordan. He is a baseball player now, and a good one. Bounces up there, 2-2.
And Jordan, one of those guys, because of the amount of football that he played, did not have a whole lot of baseball experience. But I'll tell you what, he is catching up in a hurry with the rest of the players.
That's hit to deep left field. Jeffries at the wall, makes the play. Got out in front on a changeup there and hits it to Greg Jeffries. 2 runs in the inning, both unearned on 1 hit, 1 costly error, and nobody left. 2-0 Redbirds.
Good news for those of you who can't get enough of the refreshing, big, bold taste of Coca-Cola Classic. Now you can get it in a new, longer-lasting 1-liter original Coca-Cola bottle. Coca-Cola Classic 1 liter. It's real bigger.
Must be the new guy!
advertiser in the yellow.
Ah, okay.
I'm an auctioneer. This is something which they keep around. They'll pick it up. They'll call me. And that's what it means. It means business for me. They can't miss that phone number, so they'll call us up and they'll just inquire.
You're the first auctioneer I've ever met.
Really? Okay. All right. What am I bid? I got $10 bid and out, 15 bid and out, 20, got 20 bid and out, 5, sold $20.
How are you? Thank you for coming. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
Another extra special treat for fans 14 and under. A blazing white shirt featuring a colorful, sharp design rendering of Greg Jeffries. Compliments of Model Sporting Goods when the Phillies play the Pirates Sunday, August 11th at 1:35. Call 463-1000.
Desi Relaford makes a costly error in the first inning. It was interesting. Both Kevin Stocker and Jim Fregosi come down at the end of the inning, pat him on the leg, say, hey, hang with him. You know, it's your first night. You're a little nervous. Don't worry about it. Just keep staying with it, especially Kevin Stocker. Here's a guy who's replacing. This is the guy that comes down and the first one to tell him, hey, hang with him.
And Jeffries just did the same thing. So here's the Phillies lineup. Ricky Otero, Mickey Morandini, Greg Jeffries, Todd Zeile, Jim Eisenreich, and Scott Rowland, his second big league start. Mike Lieberthal, Desi Relaford at short, and Michael Mims on the mound.
On the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals, 6'6", 245-pound right-hander Andy Bennis, making his 23rd start of the year for the Cardinals. Hard thrower, fastball, cut fastball, slider, slurve, and a circle change.
Andy Bennis got off to a horrible start this year. 1-7 in his first 10 starts as Otero takes a strike call with an earned run average of 5.92. But he's 10-2 in his last 12 starts, and he has righted his ship.
Then he's coming off a good ball game. Ball's fouled away. Ken's last start was against Montreal last Saturday. He won by a score of 6-3. In that ball game, pitched 8 innings, gave up just 4 hits, 3 runs, a couple walks, 7 strikeouts. So Andy Bennis, the power pitcher, has kind of turned it around as the season has gone on. As you mentioned, struggled early.
Strike 3 called as Hirschbeck comes out with a big plate. And this could be a pitcher's game if they keep calling those. And here's the defense, Teak.
Defensively for the Cardinals, John Mabry at first, Mike Gallego at second, Royce Clayton the shortstop, Gary Gaetti at third. Ron Gant is in left, Ray Langford in center, Brian Jordan is the right fielder, and Danny Schaefer gets the assignment behind the plate in game 2.
Morandini, the batter, fouls one out of play. Mickey came in at a double switch in game number 1, batting .271 overall. Dave Doster started the first game, got a couple of hits. Morandini came in and was nicked by a pitch thrown by Corey Bailey. This one misses high, a ball and a strike on Morandini. Mentioned Andy Bennis, how he struggled early, and then his last 12 starts outstanding. Line drive, base hit center field. Cut off by Langford. Morandini takes a big turn. He'll hold it first with a single. So Mickey Morandini, the first base runner of the game for the Phillies. Well, Lee Thomas was supposed to be here last night, but he was busy making that deal with Seattle, so he has promised to join us in the 3rd inning. And Teak, how do you get in touch with Lee Thomas?
If you want to have questions for Lee Thomas, get a hold of us. Prism link at AOL.com on the internet. Lee Thomas will be here a little later on, so get your questions in now, and we will ask them to the Phillies general manager as he joins us later in the ballgame.
Greg Jeffries, the batter, as Bennis runs Morandini back. Jeffries in left field for the second game. You remember Jeffries, of course, started in left field for the Phillies last year, then moved over to play first. Zeile is playing first in the doubleheader tonight. Bennis misses outside, ball 1. On deck is Todd Zeile. $2-0 in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. A half an inning thus far in game number 2. Phillies won the first game 2-1. Jeffries fouls one off right below us.
I'd like to take this opportunity to wish happy 87th birthday wishes to Lillian Gramlich of Philadelphia. She is celebrating her birthday today, and we would like to wish her happy birthday, and all the folks at Prism wish you happy birthday also.
Also John Slobodkin's grandma.
We're taking good care of her.
Up high, 2 balls and 1 strike to Jeffries. Jeffries in game number 1 played the entire game in left field and was 1 for 4 with a run batted in. There goes the base runner. Morandini is safe at second as the throw may have hit him, and now he moves to third. Trying to be an error on Schaefer. And Morandini was stolen base number 21. And an error on the catcher, Schaefer.
Morandini,
ball 3.
Morandini with a good jump. Schaefer's throw just tails a little bit to the first base side of second base. Clayton not able to handle the ball, so he's blowing the bubble trying to make the tag. And ricochets off Morandini past Gallego out into short center field, and Mickey alertly able to pick up where the ball is at, get himself back up off the ground, and move over to third base.
Jeffries with a chance for an RBI, and it's a strike called on the outside corner.
Cardinals conceding the run with the middle infield back.
Fouled out of play. You know, those catchers always get errors on that, and sometimes you watch those replays, and the infielder should catch those throws.
Yeah, that throw got there in the air, and you know, it was a little bit to the first base side indeed, but Clayton just not able to handle the throw. The first responsibility of the infielder is to catch the ball and then make the tag. It appeared as if Clayton was trying to make the tag before he had possession of the baseball.
Right. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jeffries, trying to get one back, and he fouls one out of play as Bennis makes a real good pitch on him. And just able to get a piece of it. That probably would have been a strike called.
Well, 2 strikes on him, a 3-2 count, too close to be taking, so Greg Jeffries able to get just a little piece of it and foul it off, keep himself alive, get another shot.
Up the middle and through for a base hit. Scoring on the play, Morandini. Phillies get back in at 2-1 on a base hit RBI by Jeffries, his 28th run batted in.
So Jeffries gets the bonus. He's trying to hit the ball in the middle of the field to score Morandini on even a ground out in the middle with the Cardinals back. Able to slash that ball and get it up the middle into center field. So Greg Jeffries gets the RBI and gets himself a base hit. He's in the bonus round.
There are the totals. Both those runs unearned for the Cardinals. Todd Zeile, the batter. Todd batting at .266. Zeile 2 for 4. A couple of infield hits in game number 1.
So we have now in the first inning, with 1 out in the bottom of the first, seen as many runs scored in this game as we did in the entire first ball game.
Right. First game was 2-1 in favor of the Phillies, and it's 2-1 right now in favor of St. Louis. Todd Zeile 11 for 36 with 3 runs batted in off Andy Bennis. That's a .306 average. Jeffries bluffs a break from first, does not go, and a strike called to Zeile.
Mentioned Jeffries getting his first start in left field in game 1. Got 5 chances in left field, handled them flawlessly, 5 putouts. Todd Zeile also getting a start at first base for the first time. Did a nice job over there.
There he goes, and they're running on Schaefer, it would appear. Tom Pagnozzi a better throwing catcher. Tom Pagnozzi not playing game number 2. So Greg Jeffries steals a base, his 9th of the year.
And again, it's one of those combinations deals. Bennis, the big guy, and Schaefer not as good a thrower. He saw that ball was short on his throw to second base. So it appears as if Phillies are going to put the running game in action when the Bennis-Schaefer combination out there for the Cardinals.
1-2 to Zeile. Close, but outside. 2-2 to Todd. Zeile leading the Phillies in runs batted in, 68 of them. He also has 18 homers, as does Benito Santiago. Struck him out. Strike call on the inside corner. Zeile didn't like it, but he's gone. Strikeout number 2 for Bennis. 2 outs. And now Hirschbeck is getting some heat from somebody in the Phillies dugout, or else he's yelling at Zeile on the way back.
Ball on the inside part of the plate. You saw Schaefer slide to the inside. Ball not that far off of where Schaefer's glove was located. Just a matter of if the target was indeed behind the strike zone or just a little bit inside of it.
Eisenreich, the batter. And Eis takes a strike on the outside corner. A lot of strikes tonight in this first inning. Sets up out there, hits the glove, but it's low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Eisenreich. See Jim Eisenreich against the St. Louis Cardinals. Seems like he never put up a graphic where he isn't hitting 300 against some team. Ozzie did not play in game number 1. So here it is, August 1st, and he's still here, and he's happy about that. A lot of rumors swirling around that Eisenreich could possibly be traded. Jeffries leads off second. Fouled out of play left side. Runner in scoring position is Greg Jeffries, and Jim Eisenreich with runners in scoring position, a very good .381 average. Jeffries representing the tying run. We're in the first inning, game number 2, 2-1 Cardinals. On deck is young Scott Rowland. There's a little looper to right. Coming on is Jordan, and he's there. Puts a little flourish to it. For the Phillies in the first inning, a run on 2 hits. No errors. They leave 1, 2-1 after 1.
Less pollution.
More training. More pedaling.
Less pollution.
More sweat. More hills.
Less pollution.
More sore thighs.
Who's reducing air pollutants by over 3 million tons a year and donating natural gas vehicles to the Olympics? Pico Energy, proud member of the American Gas Association's Clean Air Team, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympics.
Concentrate. Just concentrate. Think up the middle. This one's going right over the front desk.
Introducing soft foam autograph bat and ball sets from Pizza Hut, featuring some of your favorite Major League players like Ken Griffey Jr. Get one set for $5.99.
I would say. Junior, bedtime. We've got a game tomorrow.
Do I have to?
Oh, man. Pizza Hut, you'll love the stuff we're made of.
He did it.
Free for fans 14 and under. A white shirt with a very colorful design rendering of Greg Jeffries. Compliments of Modell Sporting Goods. When the Phillies play the Houston Astros, Sunday, August 11th at 1:35. The first 2 games against Biggio, Bagwell, and their Astros buds are Friday, August 9th at 7:35, when Hall of Famer Jim Bunning will be honored before the game, and you'll get a magnificent keepsake. Then Saturday the 10th at a special afternoon starting time of 1:05. Call 463-1000.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Philadelphia Phillies. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Phillies is strictly prohibited. We move to the top of the second inning. John Mabry, Danny Schaefer, and Mike Gallego to face Michael Mims. 2-1 Cardinals. Mims with a breaking ball misses outside. Mabry 0 for 4 in game number 1, having an outstanding season. Batting at .307 with 11 homers and 52 runs batted in. Leads the Cardinals in hits with 112. Local product from Wilmington, now makes his home in Maryland and went to Westchester University. Mabry grounds one towards second. Morandini gobbles it up on a couple of hops. 1 out in the second inning. That'll bring up Danny Schaefer, who went to Redland High School in Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, and also attended Clemson University. So Danny Schaefer, the guy coming up now, also has some area connections. Schaefer doesn't get to play a whole lot with Pagnazzi around. And you see the numbers on Schaefer. His 58th game of the year. He's had 13 pinch hit at bats. Mims with a breaking ball inside, 1-0. Fly ball shallow center field. Otero comes in. He runs the infielders off it. Ricky Otero to play, 2 outs. Don't forget Dream Week. Just call 215-938-1200. That's Dream Week, 215-938-1200. One of the greatest times you will ever have next February in Clearwater, Florida. You learn, you live, and you play with the pros. You even have a cocktail with them occasionally. Pros do that? Some more than others. So stop dreaming. Make this the year. 215-938-1200. We'll see you in Clearwater, Florida next year. You can make that call right now if you'd like, and they'll get back to you. Fouled off by Mike Gallego. In his eyes, he makes some more friends, as if he needs any. Tosses that ball to the crowd. Gallego doing a good job defensively for the Cardinals, not hitting a whole lot. And Eisenreich backtracks on this ball, puts it away. 3 up and 3 down in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 2-1. Cardinals.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane,
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration, just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Time. You never seem to have enough of it. Gotta go here, gotta be there. So when do you have time to bank? Midnight? Sunday morning? Why not? At Mellon,
Thank you for calling.
we offer 24-hour telephone banking services, hundreds of ATMs, full-service offices, plus many Acme Market offices open 7 days a week. Sound convenient? Call 1-800-MELLON-24 and find out how you can bank where you want, when you want. Mellon PSFS.
Last night, little Billy Green had to wait for his supper. His folks stopped by KFC, where they can mix roasted chicken with fried chicken, where they can start their meal with spicy hot wings or sweet and savory honey barbecue wings. With everybody's KFC favorites in the house, little Billy had to start his meal a little later.
Everybody needs a little KFC.
And now start your meal with 6 wings pieces for $1.99, 20 for $5.99.
2-1 ball game as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Phillies leading off here with Scott Rowland. And we have a tired couple of parents with us. Ed and Linda Rowland, tell us about your adventure the last 24 hours.
Oh, well, we just got the call somewhere around midnight that he was going to be coming up, so threw everything in the van and took off.
And you didn't quite get here for his first hit, did you?
No, but we heard it on the radio. We heard the smack of the ball, and they said that that was his first hit, and he had a stand-up double. So we were cheering and yelling in the van.
Wheels, we're going to let you call this as they watch their son bat here for the first time in the second game.
All right, Todd, that call, of course, they were listening to or probably by your daddy on radio in game number 1. Rowland takes a breaking ball low. Now he's facing a tough, experienced right-handed pitcher here in Andy Bennis. And he takes 2 pitches, goes 2-0. Low ball 3-0 to Rowland. Scott had the double in the first game, as Todd was just talking to his mom and dad about. He was 1 for 4. He hit 1 ball to deep center field. Ball 4. He walked him. Todd, what do mom and dad think about that?
We're just talking with the Rowlands, and you mentioned now it's kind of an Evansville versus Evansville matchup, huh?
Right. Scott was born in Evansville, and we moved to Jasper when he was about 9 months old, and we both went to school there, so we kind of followed Andy when he was growing up in high school and playing basketball.
And like Andy, Scott had a very difficult decision whether to play baseball or basketball, and I'm sure you were influential in making the right choice.
Yes, we all teach, so we did want him to go to college, but we thought this was a once-in-a-lifetime dream. And if that's what he wanted, that was fine.
Wheels, the parents are sharing the dream. They're running on a lot of adrenaline right now. No sleep since last night.
Well, you know what that drive's like from Florida, Todd. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Mike Lieberthal. That's really a nice story and interesting, too, with the connection between Andy Bennis, of course, and Scott Rowland and their Indiana connections.
And Mr. and Mrs. Rowland mentioning that they found out about midnight last night that Scott was getting called up and jumped in the van. We did not mention that that van that they jumped in was parked in Tampa, Florida.
Right.
So they've been on the road all night, all day, to get to Philadelphia to see Scott Rowland play in his first Major League ball game. Well, they didn't quite get here for the beginning of the first game. They were here by the end of it, and they were going to see all of game 2, and I'm sure they will sleep very well and very happy this evening.
High in the air to center field off the bat of Lieberthal. Langford right there puts it away. Rolling back to first, 1 out. Yeah, I get tired driving to Tampa, taking a night off, let alone driving straight through like they did.
2 or 3 days, and you're on that adrenaline high. Ooh. Tell you what, when they come down off that, there are going to be some tired people, but some tired and very, very happy people.
Now here is Relaford with his first at-bat. See what he was doing at AAA Tacoma. Relaford is from Valdosta, Georgia. That's where he was born. He makes his home now in Jacksonville, Florida. He is a switch hitter. And his first major league at bat right here on Prism. We had 2 of them tonight. Scott Rowlands and now Desi Relaford. Hit the deep right center field. Back goes Jordan at the track. He runs it down. Now Rowland has to retreat and get back to first. It's going to be close, and he makes it. So Relaford nails that ball to deep right center field. Rowland had gone all the way around second and had to hustle back. That's 2 outs in the inning.
Relaford's first major league at bat. He gives it a good ride to deep right center field. Fastball out away from him. Got good extension on it. Brian Jordan able to get over and cut it off in right center field on the warning track. When he corks the ball back to first base, Scott Rowland all the way around second base, had to retouch the bag and then return to first base, getting there just before Brian Jordan's throw.
Which was right on the bag. Michael Mims, the batter. Mims batting at 143. He's 3 for 21 on the year. And a 143 lifetime batter. Breaking ball from Andy Bennis. 2 runs, a hit, and an error for the Cardinals. 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for the Phillies with 2 outs in the second inning. And you see those lifetime numbers on Mims. Strike 3 call. Mims takes a look at Hirschbeck, but he wants that pitch when he goes out there. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Through 2, 2-1, St. Louis.
I've got another one. If you run an ad and no one sees it, does it make a sale? No. So put your ad where more people are looking to buy. 9 out of 10 use it. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
Sure, they're having fun playing the daily number. But are they having as much fun as they could be?
Not if they've forgotten to buy these, the tickets. Hi, I'm lottery ball number 7. Let's see what would happen if they remembered.
The daily number from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Get in the game. It's fun.
Concentrate. Just concentrate. Think up the middle. This one's going right over the front desk.
Introducing soft foam autograph bat and ball sets from Pizza Hut, featuring some of your favorite Major League players like Ken Griffey Jr. Get 1 set for $5.99.
I would say,
Out.
Junior, bedtime. We've got a game tomorrow.
Do I have to?
Oh, man. Pizza Hut, you'll love the stuff we're made of.
He did it. Attention all heads that belong to kids 14 or under. Bring the rest of your body to the vet and get a free soft faded red Phillies cap with blue brim. Compliments of Pico Energy when the Phillies play the Pirates Sunday, August 4th at 1:35. Call 463-1000.
Lee Thomas has just joined us in the booth, and don't forget that we're going to answer your questions tonight. Get on the internet, prismlink at AOL.com. Send us your questions for Lee Thomas. We will get to those in just a few minutes.
Andy Bennis with 4 lifetime home runs, fouls 1 out of play. Lee Thomas joins us, a little more relaxed tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. I think we're, making a few things happen, changing the face a little bit of the club.
That's a pretty young left side you have out there tonight.
I think they might be, pretty good defensively, and we know the third baseman's going to be okay, and I'm really anxious to see how Relaford can do.
Ripped to left center field by Andy Bennis. They won't get it. Jeffries cuts it off, but Bennis is going to lumber into second with a stand-up double. Andy Bennis' 3rd double of the year. And he reaches down as if he might be a little tired.
Bennis hits the ball hard into left center field as you see him struggling just a little bit at second base. Pitch belt high on the inside part of the plate, and he gives it a pretty good ride in the left center field. Greg Jeffries does a nice job of cutting this ball off before it gets all the way to the wall, but he's so deep in left center field that even though he did cut it off, Andy Bennis able to get into second base with his third double of the season. So the Cardinals with a leadoff double, compliments of their pitcher, Andy Bennis.
I think Tony La Russa thought he blew a tire, too, because he started out of the dugout then, and Bennis waved him back because Bennis did grab at his leg a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't look real comfortable when he got to second base.
That's a big man out there at second, and Andy Bennis. Here's Royce Clayton. Lee, you were in the Cardinals organization for so long. That was really nice for Ozzie Smith, huh, between innings.
Oh, what a class guy he is, and I'm glad Philadelphia really welcomed him, and he got a great hand, and they know how to treat somebody here.
Yeah, he got that great reception during the All-Star game, of course, and then tonight between games he was honored.
That was a real tearjerker at the All-Star time. You know, Ozzie couldn't hardly keep from crying there.
That was nice. There he is, the Wizard of Oz, a first ballot Hall of Famer someday. Fouled away by Clayton. Looks like he's trying to take a shot at the right side. Lee mentioned a lot of changes tonight, and it is a revamped infield, to say the least, with Scott Rowland at third, Desi Relaford the shortstop, Morandini the old standby at second, but Todd Zeile playing over at first base.
Yeah, knock on wood, Todd had a nice game at first.
I thought he did a couple things, pretty slick the way he was moving around over at first base for a guy who has just moved across the diamond. Of course, he's made one conversion already in his career, going from behind the plate to third base. Now he goes across the diamond to first. And for example, the first play of this ball game, the ball that Lieberthal picked up at the backstop, he made a nice shift getting into foul territory, something that is not accustomed to him being a third baseman.
Even our man in left field made 4 or 5 catches.
Yeah, made 5 the first game.
Had him early. They got his attention right out of the chute with the fly balls. There's Greg Jeffries, who Lee mentions as our man in left field.
Well, you know, one thing he can't say, he said, I can't hit, by playing left field. Well, he got to hit the first time up, so.
Right, and he had to hit the first game.
That got the monkey off his back right there.
So that theory's out the window now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No excuses, huh?
That's right.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Clayton. Fouls another ball off right side out of play. Michael Mims against Andy Bennis, game number 2 of this make-up twilight doubleheader. Phillies won the first game 2-1. I think Bennis did do something to a leg, because you see him, he's still stretching out there. Those are some big legs, too.
Yeah, that's a big horse out there. 6'6", 245 pounds worth.
Clayton to left center field. Look out. Oh, Otero made a heck of a play. Bennis tags and then stops as Otero fires it back in. Nice play by Otero.
The flea came out of nowhere to take that. That was a great play.
Flea was chasing a puppy there. That was a heck of a play.
I had to hold my breath for a second. I said, no collisions.
Well, and you worry about collisions because Jeffries has not been playing that much in the outfield this year. Started out there last year and pulls up at just the last second. You see him with the mouth wide open, but realizes right there that Otero has called the ball. And, of course, center fielder always has priority in the outfield over either one of the right or left fielders.
Nice play.
Nice play. And got rid of it quickly, and Bennis was aggressively tagging, thinking about going to third. Ray Langford, the batter, got on the error by Relaford in the first inning.
I've always thought this guy's one of the most exciting players in the National League, Langford.
Amen.
He can do everything.
Yeah, we've talked about him, Lee, and hope that you catch him cold. He's a little bit cold right now, because when he's hot, he is murder. Strike call. Well, we gave the numbers on him, Lee. 23 doubles, 5 triples, and 18 homers.
He's an electrifying ball player. I really believe that.
23 stolen bases also. And an outstanding center fielder. Mims, his pitch is fouled away, left side. He's ahead of him 1-2. The on-deck batter is Ron Gant.
I think he's probably as good a center fielder as Grissom with Atlanta.
I think the one rap that's been on him over the years is he does strike out quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing the Cardinals have talked about it. And they say, it's almost part of what you have to take with the package. He's going to give you that much offense. He's just going to strike out every now and then.
That's hit well to center field. Otero playing shallow, got a pretty good jump. Still going back at the wall, makes the play. And now Big Andy's going to lumber on over to third with 2 outs.
That ball's out in St. Louis. They've really shortened that park a little bit.
Langford hit that ball well. But a big out here at the vet, and there's 2 down.
And you see Langford drilling this ball deep to center field. Otero all the way back to the wall as he makes the catch. And now the importance of the play that Otero just made before on Clayton when he went into left center field and cut that ball off and was able to keep Bennis at second base, because if Bennis moves to third, he scores easily on that, and the Cardinals have another run.
Or even if Jeffries catches it, because he was going the other way, he went anyway.
Well, Gant beats one foul third base side. Ron Gant hit a fly ball to right his first time up.
You know, you saw what our man did in that 9th inning, rolling at third base. He took a little extra time. I'll tell you right now, I don't think he'll ever do that in his career again.
Well, they run fast up here.
Yeah.
And give Sweeney credit, too, because he busted down the line. Mark Sweeney was playing in left field. Gant a base hit up the middle. And Andy Bennis will score 3-1 St. Louis as Ron Gant knocks in his 55th run of the year. What a pickup he was.
Yeah, he's always a threat.
Ron Gant not trying to do a whole lot with this ball, out over the plate and just slashes it back up the middle past Mims. Bennis scores run number 3 for the Cardinals, and Ron Gant with a 2-out base hit drives in that run.
Jordan, the batter, fouls one off. Jordan hit a high breaking ball or changeup for a long home run his first time up. And this guy, Lee, it looks like he's forgotten about football, and he's a baseball player.
He really looks like he's coming into his own. That is their big strength, their outfield. They got a nice outfield. They can do a lot of things, hit the ball, catch it.
Yeah, and then Willie McGee is their 4th outfielder, and he's having a heck of a year for them.
What a nice guy McGee is, and can still play, which is even more of a plus.
Ron Gant at first base, 1 ball, 1 strike on Jordan. The pitch is outside, 2-1. Gant unlikely to run with Jordan batting here in 2 outs. That Gant, a guy who even the leg problems he's had, can still steal a base. There is Willie McGee.
How about a guy that can steal some bases, or at least could at one point in his career? He was almost unstoppable.
Got the breaking ball over behind in the count, even 2-2.
He had a great World Series in the '82 series for Whitey Herzog. McGee did.
Remember, they got him from the Yankees for a pitcher I can't think of now. He didn't do much for the Yankees, and McGee had an MVP. Grounded towards second. Morandini has it. Throws out Brian Jordan. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. And we are now through 2.5 innings, and it's 3-1 in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. Oh, we're maneuvering around here. Here with Kent Tekulve and Lee Thomas. And don't forget, give that AOL.com again. So
yeah, Prism link at AOL.com if you want to jump on the internet and send a question for Lee Thomas, general manager of the Phillies. And Lee's very gracious to come in tonight and answer those questions. In fact, you were supposed to be here last night, but you got hung up somewhere about the 3rd inning last night's ball game.
Yeah, we were a little busy last night, trying to do more than we did, but we got one thing done anyway.
Lee, you know, after that happens, and, you know, we talk about the trading deadline. Explain how you can still make deals the rest of the way.
Well, now, after the 31st, you can make a deal if you can get a guy through waivers. You put him on waivers, and if he's claimed, you can take him off, and then the next time you put him back on, he's gone if somebody takes him. Now, you can let him go, too, if you want, but that's the only club you can deal with, whoever claims him.
Last year, there was an instance, I think, when you had Mariano Duncan on waivers, and somebody, who was it, Atlanta, tried to pick him up?
Yeah, it was, they wanted him, and then Cincinnati claimed him, so we let Cincinnati have him. We worked out a deal with them. It wasn't that big a deal, but Duncan at that time, I think he wanted out, and you know, when I think back at that time, it was probably the best thing for Duncan to go.
Yeah, and that's one of those instances where general managers sometimes will try and block the other guy from getting somebody.
Yeah, they're doing that more than they ever have. 10, 15 years ago, you knew nobody was going to block anybody. Now, everybody gets blocked, and it really makes it bad for the fans, because then you can't make any trades at all.
Yeah, Lee, we got some questions that have already come in, and we might as well get to them right now as Ricky Otero steps in to lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Phillies. And Buffers wants to know if there's anything else in the works, following up on what we were just talking about.
Well, we're right now, like I say, we've got to get all 25 players through waivers before we can do anything after this. And, you know, there may be a couple of little things we're going to do. I'm not too sure at the moment.
Is there a chance that, you know, any of the things that you had talked about clubs before the trading deadline that did not happen, if indeed, you know, you can continue to pursue those and see if you can get those players through waivers?
Yeah, we'll know within the next 6 or 7 days here whether we get them through waivers. And if you do, then you can always, you know, go back and make a deal with somebody.
Now, talk about players going through waivers. There are rules about how many players you can put through waivers at one time and how often a player can go through waivers.
Right. Right now you can put 7 a day. That's how we're doing it. And it takes 3 days for them to clear. And you have to get, you know, until you get your 25 players cleared through waivers. And I would imagine we'll probably have 7 or 8 players blocked and not get through waivers. The one thing is, some of these people had better be careful, and I'm not talking about us, but you claim somebody and you're just doing it and you don't really want him, you may end up with a player if he's making a lot of money.
Because there are players that you may not be taken back.
That's right.
Hit right on the nose, and a good play by Jordan as the Phillies hit 2 balls hard in this inning. Line drive to left, line drive to right, and that guy can play the outfield.
Yeah, he can. Morandini's starting to swing the bat better too right now.
Lee, the next question. Scott wants to know if, in your opinion, does Lenny Dykstra have anything left in his baseball career, or is it possible to tell at this time?
Scott, I'd like to say I really feel that he does, but, you know, first of all, we want Lenny to get himself back where he can just do the things that the ordinary person does. I think after that we'll worry about his career, but it's really hard to count on him right now. And what a player.
Greg Jeffries fouls it out of play. Jeffries singled and knocked in a run in the first inning. He also knocked in a run in game number 1 in his new position, left field. His new old position.
Yeah.
His revisited position.
Well, that's what he signed to be when he first came here.
That's right, so I guess he shouldn't complain, right?
No. There's the Brain Trust looking on. There's another line drive to left. Great jump by Gann on that ball. He runs it down. We'll send in those questions. Lee Thomas will be here with Kent Colby and Andy Musser through 3. Cardinals 3, Phillies 1.
They've trained. They've sweated. They've prepared for this moment. And this summer, they'll have a chance to prove themselves to the world. The people of Texaco are proud to supply Clean System 3 gasoline and Haviland Formula 3 motor oil to the thousands of official vehicles in the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games. Because getting the athletes to the events is quite an event in itself.
New Philly Fanatic Franks. He's so great, you just gotta try him. 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 New Philly Fanatic Franks. You just gotta try him.
Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, Glavin, Maddox, and more. When the world champ Braves are here for the final Millen PSFS Business Person Special, Thursday, August 15th at 1:05. Get a keepsake Pride of the Phillies poster. Full color, full excitement. Call 463-1000.
We're back at Veterans Stadium as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Cardinals ahead of the Phillies by a score of 3-1, and Lee Thomas is sitting alongside. And sitting alongside Lee Thomas, we have a new member of the broadcast team. Andy Musser has joined us. Welcome, Andy.
All right, Teakwood, thank you very much. And leading off for the Cardinals will be Gary Gaetti. This veteran ball player has had a long night. He's played every inning of the doubleheader.
Lee will continue on with some of the questions that we've received on the internet. And next question comes from Luna, and she wants to know about the status of the Greens, Tommy and Tyler. What's the update on those two guys?
Tommy Green, he's pitching in Clearwater. He's pitched very well, but he still doesn't have the velocity that we think he's going to need. There's a pop-up to right field. Ozzie should handle that. And Tyler Green is coming along real well. He threw on the side yesterday. Jimmy and the trainer Coop and everybody's very happy with it. And we really think Tyler has a great chance of coming back.
Yeah, he was here at the ballpark. I did see him yesterday, so good to see Tyler back at the ballpark. But neither one of them ready in the immediate future.
No, we're hoping that Tyler may be ready to do a little pitching in the Instruction League. That may be a reach, but we're hoping so. And all Tommy Green has to do is get back to the big leagues, is let the ball go. And I keep hoping every day that he's going to do that. Now, whether or not he does, I can't answer it.
Mabry's at the plate. This guy is a good hitter, and he's had a long night. He's 0 for 1 in this one, and he took a collar in the first game in 4 at-bats. Here he hits a ball out into shallow left center field. Otero Made a lot of plays out there tonight.
Been a lot of fly balls in these games.
Really, especially in that first game.
Yeah.
It didn't take long to test Jeffries, did it?
No, it sure didn't. And like I said, he got to hit that first time up, so he can't complain that he can't hit because he's in the outfield.
2 quick outs here, and Danny Schaefer's coming up. Jeffries has looked good in left. Zeal has looked good at first. Schaefer out on a shallow pop-up to center field his first time up. Hard ground ball, and Relaford can't quite get it. Base hit. Schaefer singles, and he is a 2-out runner. Hit number 4 for St. Louis.
Well, Schaefer's hit the ball hard twice this evening. First time deep to center field, and now slams a hard ground ball through the left side. So Danny Schaefer getting a chance to play. Doesn't get that chance very often, with Tom Pagnozzi doing the majority of the catching for the Cardinals, trying to take advantage of his opportunities.
Gallego out on a fly ball to right field in his only at bat in this one, and he did not appear in the first game. Mims drops a curveball in for a strike.
Cardinals are very lucky. Danny Schaefer has done a nice job for him as the second catcher, and you know, I think Pagnozzi's come back here and had a great year. I don't think they thought he was going to be that good, but he sure has been.
He's remained basically injury-free, and he's having a great offensive year. Lee, I think the thing about Schaefer is his versatility. I mean, they can plug him in at third and left field.
They've really put him in a lot of difficult positions, and he's done a nice job for them.
Nice young man. We've gotten to know him. He's from New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, and he told me he once paid his way into the ballpark here. A lot of times he got passes, but one time he paid his way in here. He was always a great Mike Schmidt fan.
That's a first for a ball player.
Bought a ticket.
Gallego recently off the disabled list and has shored up the Cardinal infield defense. Takes a right field swing at that. That's exactly what he wanted to do, and he was able to pull it off.
And now we got that slugger Bennis coming back here. He's got 3 doubles. That's a lot of doubles in a year for a pitcher.
You know, he was a terrible hitter at the start of his career, but he's really improved.
See Mike Gallego swinging, as you mentioned, Andy, hitting the ball through the right side. The majority of the swings that he's had in the last couple nights have been in that direction. It appears as if Gallego just doesn't have the speed in his bat anymore to be able to turn it over and pull the ball. Does try to hit the ball the other way whenever possible.
Bennis takes a strike. He has 4 major league home runs, and we saw 2 of them. He hit his first one September 3rd of '89 off Dennis Cook. And then he hit his second here at Veterans Stadium off Danny Cox, the night that Cox made his debut in a Phillies uniform.
Well, those are 2 names out of the past, aren't they?
Yeah. I read in a book one time where Andy Bennis went 0 for his first 54, and I asked him about it. He said, I did not. He said it might have been 50, but it wasn't 54. He's become a pretty good hitter since then.
They know about things like that. They do keep track.
And then when he first got a hit, he got a hit in 4 straight at-bats. 2 balls and a strike on Andy. He's been trying to catch his younger brother all year. Got a lead in this one now. Makes the play to Relaford. Relaford over to first in time for the out, and the Cardinals go down. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left on base. It's 3-1 St. Louis.
It's back, and it's even better than before. It's the biggest Ford sales event of the year. Ford's factory-authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. With great clearance prices on Ford Explorer, America's #1 sport utility with switch-on all-wheel drive, the most room in its class, and the highest quality rating. Plus, Explorer now has V8 power for more towing capacity. Save now during Ford's factory-authorized clearance. If you've been waiting to buy, see your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get a clearance price on Ford Explorer.
Smoltz, Glavin, and Maddox lead the Braves into town Monday, August 12th, Tuesday the 13th, and Wednesday the 14th at 7:35. Then Thursday the 15th at 1:05 for the final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. And all fans receive a free Pride of the Phillies poster. Bonds and Williams lead the Giants in Friday, August 16th at 7:35. Saturday the 17th at 7:05. And Sunday the 18th at 1:35 when fans 14 and under get a big league back-to-school binder. Call 463-1000.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Don't know where to mail a letter, sit at the ballpark, or take grandma sightseeing? The Showcase Pages have it all in your genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. By your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. And by Pizza Hut. Visit Pizza Hut for a colorful soft foam autographed bat and ball set. Just $5.99 with any pizza purchase.
Well, here's one for the youngsters. If you're between the ages of 6 and 14, you can enter Prism's Fanatic Powell contest and have a chance to win 4 tickets to the Phils-Dodgers game on August 30th and dance with the Fanatic and a fantastic Fanatic gift pack. Send your name, age, address, and phone number to the address on your screen. Good luck, and thanks for watching Prism. And we're back here at Veterans Stadium. The Cardinals have a 3-1 lead in the ball game. Sitting alongside tonight is Lee Thomas, and we're fielding some questions from you, our viewers, about things that you would like to ask Lee, who's always most gracious in these appearances, and we appreciate it.
Well, it's kind of fun. Most of the questions.
Well, there's a slight amount of editing that goes on.
Oh, thank goodness.
Todd Zeal took a called third strike first time up. Line drive, left field. Gant almost overran it. That ball was hit pretty hard, and Gant almost let it go over his head.
Zeal hit it hard, but Gant right there. He just went back last inning, comes in on this one. Lee, next question from Keith in Doylestown wants to know, what type of free agents are you going to be looking at in the offseason?
Well, I don't think it's a secret, Keith. Everybody knows we need a power hitter. We need to go out and try to get one of those kind of guys. We need a pitcher or two here. Hopefully we're going to get some of these guys okay for next year. But we do need some hitting, some power, and, you know, we'll see what happens at the shortstop situation right now. And, you know, the rest of the year is going to end up making a lot of decisions for us.
Eisenreich hits a fly ball that Gant may or may not have a shot at. What a nice try. He didn't have a shot at it, and that was a tough attempt by Gant up on that side wall. Nice try.
Gant over into the corner, and we've mentioned so many times how little room there is. Takes a quick peek to see how much room he has. Feels the warning track. Airborne up against that fence and just traps it right up against the top of the fence. Ron Gant almost makes a spectacular play over there, crashing into that wall in left field.
1 ball, 1 strike on Eisenreich, who flied out to right field his only time up tonight. Ozzie did not play in the first game. Phillies won that opener 2-1.
I think our next question, Lee, is looking a little bit ahead, probably to the September area. Brett Jackson of Mickelson, New Jersey, is Ozzie's going to try Gant again. Gant's able to handle this one. Brett wants to know if you're planning on bringing up Rich Nye and Carlton Lower, and what are your plans as far as your 4th and 5th starters go?
Well, those two guys are nice names to talk about. We've been following them. Lower has been pitching very good in AA, and Nye's come up with some good games. Another name for people to watch is Matt Beach. He's really been throwing the ball excellent also. So we are going to have some choices to make here and look at some people before this year is over. And, you know, we're in the position that we have to look at some of these guys and get something out of this year.
Well, here's the choice number 1, Scott Rowland. He's making his debut tonight. Got a hit in his second at-bat in game 1 of the doubleheader. This one's on the inside corner. Rowland was convinced it was inside.
So am I.
So are a lot of the folks here at Veterans Stadium.
Lee, Rob Barsky wants to know, you know, with Desi Relaford coming on the scene now, what is the plans now for Kevin Stocker, and where does that whole situation wash out? And also your evaluation of Ricky Otero so far.
Well, you know, I always thought you needed 2 shortstops on a club, and I think we're going to see what happens here with both of them. Ricky Otero, I think he's done more than anybody could have asked. You know, Del Unser made a nice trade with New York for this young man. He's done a lot of things. He's starting to play the little man's game instead of hitting fly balls. And if he can stay away from fly balls, there's strike 3 taken by Rowland. He'll be all right.
Well, Scott's not happy, especially with that second strike. Cardinals lead the ball game 3-1 after 4.
Sure, they're having fun playing the daily number. But are they having as much fun as they could be?
Not if they've forgotten to buy these, the tickets. Hi, I'm lottery ball number 7. Let's see what would happen if they remembered.
the daily number from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Get in the game. It's fun.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Concentrate. Just concentrate. Think up the middle. This one's going right over the front desk.
Introducing soft foam autograph bat and ball sets from Pizza Hut, featuring some of your favorite Major League players like Ken Griffey Jr. Get one set for $5.99.
I would say. Junior, bedtime. We've got a game tomorrow.
Do I have to?
Oh, man. Pizza Hut, you'll love the stuff we're made of.
He did it.
Jim Bunny goes in the Hall of Fame this Sunday, and then this coming Friday, the 9th of August, before the Astros play the Phillies at 7:35. We're going to honor Jim here, and all fans receive a beautiful keepsake to remember the night. It'll have all of Jim's career notes on them. So make your plans to come out for this special game and call 463-1000 to get your tickets. Cardinals hold a 3-1 lead as we move now to the 5th inning of play, and the Cardinals are at the top of their lineup. It's Royce Clayton, who has struck out and flied to left, or flied to center. The ball caught in left center on a good running catch by Otero.
Continue on with the questions, Lee. Mike Lang of Claymont, Delaware wants to know if Mike Lieberthal is going to be your everyday catcher next year. I guess it's a little premature at this time to even talk about that, but wondering about Lieberthal and your plans for him.
Yeah, it probably is. And, you know, this young guy has come on a lot stronger than we thought he would. And I think this last 50, 60 games here, I mean, Jimmy's got to get him in there, and between the two of them, him and Santiago. But we do have to find out enough about Lieberthal to know that we can count on him for next year.
Now, is it a question of stamina? You know, can Lieberthal catch every day? Because he really has never been in that position in the big leagues.
Well, you know, I think a good catcher, unless you're a horse like Piazza, you know, if you catch 120 games, you can stay strong, maybe 130, and you're going to always have to have that other good backup catcher.
Mark Hirschbeck is hearing a lot of guff from the batters in this ball game.
Well, the hitters don't like the wide strike zone that Hirschbeck has right here. Mims with that looping breaking ball. Clayton thought it went around the outside corner. Hirschbeck says no, it caught him.
See, that's what I don't like. You know, a hitter will not gripe on a pitch high or low, but a pitch a half a foot outside and you got no chance to swing at it. I mean, that's what upsets the hitters. You know, if you make a mistake, make it up and down, not outside.
Here's Langford. He's reached on an error and flied to the track in center, and a breaking ball misses.
Just talking about catchers, Lieberthal and Santiago. Our next question from Kim has to do with a former catcher with the Phillies and wants to know how Darren Dalton's doing.
Darren's been doing fine. He knows that there's a base hit to left field by Langford. Darren's doing all right. He's going to rest the knee, and we're going to see what happens this spring. You know, he and Dykstra both, you'd like to say, hey, can I count on him? But you almost have to go into next year not counting on them at all, and then if something happens, you got a bonus.
Yeah, Langford right here with the ball down and away, able to go down and lash it into left center field. Good job of hitting by Langford, going down and getting that low ball and lining it out there.
The hitter now is Gant. He is 1 for 2, has driven in a run for the Cardinals on a single in the 3rd inning.
Mr. Mims better keep this ball out away from the middle of the plate, or it may be 2 more real quick here.
Base hit through the left side hole. So the Cardinals have back-to-back singles with 1 out, and Gant's 2 out of 3 tonight.
Well, our next question from Mike Castle, it kind of pertains to the outfield situation. Greg Jeffries just moving to the outfield tonight. We've already talked about Ricky Otero, talking about in the offseason trying to acquire a power-hitting outfielder. Wants to know where that leaves Jim Eisenreich and Pete Incaviglia as far as the Phillies' future plans go.
Well, you know, we had about 5 clubs asking for Eisenreich over this last few days here, and there were no way we were going to move him unless we really got something worthwhile. And I would like to have Izzy back here next year. You know, as I said before, you really need to see what happens the rest of the year. You know, Inky was not been able to, for Jimmy to use him like he wanted to. You know, platoon him and let him pinch hit. We got so bad offensively that, you know, Jimmy really had to play him more. And in a sense, you know, Inky is a pretty darn good player when he doesn't have to play every day.
You can spot him against the left-handed pitchers and in the lineup.
The outstanding year he had in '93 and everything. But we got so much that we had no power whatsoever. You know, Jimmy almost had to play him most of the time. And he's hustled his rear end off there.
Well, let's go from the older players to a couple of the younger players. Guy wants to know what are the prospects for a couple names that we've heard about, Wendell McGee and Bobby Australia.
Well, those are two good names. Wendell McGee has been moved up to AAA. He's hitting the ball real good. I talked to Ramon Aviles last night. He said he really likes him. And Estelella is in AA, and there's a chance he may go to AAA before the year is out. He's got a lot of ability, but he's still a little crude.
Did he swing? No swing, says the first base umpire, Charlie Williams. So Jordan lives to get another swing, and he put one out of here tonight.
Take a look at the check swing. Pretty good job by Jordan of stopping the bat. Nice job by Lieberthal keeping that bouncing ball in front of him.
I've seen worse calls than that for strikes.
A little outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals have been picking up their hits. They have 6 hits over the last 2+ innings. And they have 7 in the ball game. Langford at second, Gant at first here with just 1 out. And another block by Lieberthal. He has really been tested.
Mark Schellenberger of Tuckerton, New Jersey wants to know next year, will you go with a lot of young guys, or are you going to try to get some veterans, or kind of a mix of both? I guess it's trying the composition of next year's ball club.
You know, I really think it's difficult to go all young or all veterans. I think you have to have some sort of a mix in there. The young guys need some veterans, you know, that have been around, and that's how we're really going to try to do it.
Runners are going, and the pitch is fouled away.
We know we need a lot of help, and hopefully this winter we're going to get it. We're going to get some help from the system. We're going to have some more players come up here, some pitchers, and I think we're going to have a lot more things to look forward to than a lot of people realize when this year is over.
Michael Mims dealing with a tough customer here, Brian Jordan, who had game 1 off tonight. Runners go again, and the ball is hammered to left field down the line. And it's a foul ball, fortunately for the Phillies.
Ball appeared to have home run distance and home run height, just hooked foul just inside the left field, or just outside the left field screen. Jordan just a little bit out in front of that ball, not able to keep it in fair territory. The Phillies catch a break.
Leading hitter for the Cardinals with runners in scoring position, 436 is really outstanding.
Lee, we saw Scotty Rowland show up with the ball club tonight, playing both games in this doubleheader. Everyone wants to know, I'm assuming for the rest of this season, is Rowland going to be the everyday third baseman?
Well, if I was a manager, he would be, and I kind of think Jimmy will have him out there every day too. You know, every now and then he might give him a rest, but for the most part, I would have to say yes.
That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded with Redbirds here, and only 1 out. That's first batter walk by Mims tonight, but it's a bad spot because Gaetti's coming up now with the sacks full. So Mims has his work cut out here with just 1 out in the inning and trailing at this point 3-1. Mims has handled Gaetti. He is lined to left and flied to right. Little bullpen activity for the Phillies. Heflin, just brought up to the club today, is throwing.
Bronson Heflin and Steve Fry, also the left-hander down there in the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah, we brought Heflin up. He's got a good breaking ball. I don't think he's walked more than 1 guy in those last 40 innings down there, and we're kind of anxious to see what he can do up here. He deserved it.
What a great name, Bronson Heflin. You can't get some notoriety with that name. I mean, how can you get noticed?
That is correct, and I think we're all anxious to see him.
Career with the bases loaded for Gaetti. Swings through a pitch, 1-1.
Lee Gale in Levittown wants to know if you got your reports so far, and what are your impressions so far of what Mitch Williams has been doing at Scranton?
Well, Mitch took a little heat off me the other night. He gave up 4 runs, so up until then he was doing all right. So I guess he was deserves that.
Roland's got the play at third. Throw across.
Nice
He's
play.
got a double play. Roland tags the bag and throws across for the double play. Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Cardinals lead it 3-1.
Bryn Mawr Trust is another of a growing number of local businesses that have gone all blue by offering their employees health plans from Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
I think our people have found the folks at Independence Blue Cross to be most helpful. At every turn, the service is just right. I've never had a complaint about Independence Blue Cross.
Go all blue with personal choice. Keystone Health Plan East or our traditional plan from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. The folks you can lean on.
It's taken an entire year to build. Along the way, things were changed, rules broken. Now it's finally ready. Announcing the Dodge Summer Clearance. Get a great deal on Dodge Caravan, the first and only minivan to be named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Buy for 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Better act now, because summer clearance means our best sales year is nearly over. And it will take another 12 months to build our next one.
Back to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals still ahead 3-1. See the play right here that Scott Rowland makes on Gary Gaetti. Lee, you mentioned it earlier. Rowland held onto the ball and Mark Sweeney too long the first game. No hesitation at all right here by Rowland. Knew exactly what he wanted to do. Tagged the bag across the diamond. Doubles Gaetti easily at first base. So the hesitation in the first game, you said he wouldn't make the same mistake again. And at least to this point of the evening, he has not made it. Good play by Scott Rowland.
Lieberthal bats now. There's Scotty. Playing his first major league doubleheader. Got a hit in his second at bat. A double in the opener. Lieberthal's up there. 1-0 the count on him. There's a very high fly ball, but not deep in right center field. It's a play for Jordan. Lieberthal is retired. That's the first out of the inning. Well, a great new style hat, a traditional Phillies cap, and a soft, easy wear style for all fans 14 and under, coming on Sunday when the Phillies meet the Pirates. Compliments of Pico Energy. Make your plans easily. Call 463-1000 for your tickets. Well, here's Desi Relaford, and Desi got a nice surprise between games of the doubleheader tonight. His father showed up in the Phillies clubhouse. He had flown up from Jacksonville, Florida. He was watching ESPN last night when he heard about the trade, and he thought, by golly, if there's any way I'm going to be able to get there, I'm going to do it, and he did.
That is nice. I think Roland's parents are here too.
Right, Scotty's parents drove all night from Tampa, Florida to get here. In fact, we're not able to get here quite by the beginning of game 1.
Pass list is very heavy tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, you see about these young players, and we talk about the excitement that they have when they first get to the big leagues and the butterflies and everything else, but over the years, such a commitment by the parents to, even when they start in little, they get them to the practices, and the mom's driving them back and forth, and the dad's coaching the team. So, yes, the players are excited, but the parents are also just as excited as the players are, and rightfully so. They've got just as much an investment in the kids' future as the players themselves do.
Hits the ball in the air to shallow left field. Is it going to drop? Clayton denies the base hit. He had almost hit a home run his first time up as he hit one to the track in right center, and now he's out on the shallow fly.
Our next question comes from Mike, and we just talked a little earlier about Darren Dalton, about his ability to play anymore. If Dalton retires, he wants to know, will he stay with the team in some kind of a baseball capacity?
Oh, I'm sure Bill Giles and the Philly organization would love to have him stay in some way. I don't know if he'd try to take your job or not, Teague, but I think he'd like to. I think he'd like to stay in the game. You know, players get out and they say, "Oh, I don't want to play anymore," or stay in the game, and there's a pop-up.
Mims hitting this one. Clayton this time gives way to Gant, makes the play, and there are 3 outs in the inning just that quickly. So down go the Phillies in order for the 3rd inning in a row, and the Phillies trail the game 3-1.
Hi, Mike.
What do you want?
I have a number 5.
Do you read me? Hello, 10-4, 10-4.
A number 5?
Number 5, coming up. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 2 number 5s. Swing down and get me a 6 of Bud Light.
How about 2 number 5s for free?
You gonna swing down and get me a 6?
I'll get a 6 tomorrow. You give me 2 5s.
How about I give you 3 number 5s if you go skiing with me? We'll go up, we'll roll around the lodge, you and me by the campfire there. How's that sound?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Bud Light, I said.
Last night, little Billy Green had to wait for his supper. His folks stopped by KFC where they can mix roasted chicken with fried chicken, where they can start their meal with spicy hot wings or sweet and savory honey barbecue wings. With everybody's KFC favorites in the house, little Billy had to start his meal a little later.
Everybody needs a little KFC.
And now start your meal with 6 wings pieces for $1.99, 20 for $5.99.
Smoltz, Glavin, and Maddox lead the Braves into town Monday, August 12th, Tuesday the 13th, and Wednesday the 14th at 7:35. Then Thursday the 15th at 1:05 for the final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. And all fans receive a free Pride of the Phillies poster. Bonds and Williams lead the Giants in Friday, August 16th at 7:35, Saturday the 17th at 7:05, and Sunday the 18th at 1:35 when fans 14 and under get a Big League Back to School binder. Call 463-1000.
Why does breathing become more difficult with age? Because people lose about 30% of the breathing capacity between the ages of 30 and 70. That's one reason strenuous exercise becomes more difficult for older people. Remember to check with your doctor before starting an exercise program.
The final Business Person Special coming up on August 15th. All the activities, compliments of Mellon PSFS, and a special edition of the Pride of the Phillies poster coming up that day. Make your plans now to see the Phillies and the Eastern leading Atlanta Braves. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Mellon PSFS office at Broad and Chestnut Streets. Here's a ball hit out into right center field. That's going to find some open spaces for Mabry. It's his first hit of the ball game. And Mabry winds up at second base. He had been 0 for 6 tonight, including the first game before that one.
Lee, we'll let you go at the end of this half inning, but I got some more questions for you, and most of them pertain to the future, as is understandable. First one comes from Eric in Glenmore, PA. He wants to know about the plans for Todd Zeile next year. Do you have any plans for him, or how does he fit in right now?
Well, you know, Todd is on first base now. Roland is going to be our third baseman, and I think Todd knows that. So we're just going to have to see what happens the rest of this year with him playing first base. And, you know, I think he's going to be able to handle first very well myself. And he's probably leading us in most offensive categories. But, you know, it's something that we're going to have to wait and see how things end up here.
Phillies pitching coach Jim Wright is out. There is bullpen activity once again as the Cardinals have gotten their 8th hit of this ball game. And with the Phillies down 3-1, Ron Blazier is up at this point. And the Phillies want to keep the deficit where it is. Andy Bennis is looking kind of tough tonight.
Mims has thrown quite a few pitches so far in this ball game. We're in the top of the 6th inning, 83 pitches. Pretty good ratio, 53 strikes, 30 balls.
Pitch to Schaefer is low for a ball. Schaefer singled his last time up. Danny 1 for 2. He did not appear in the opener tonight.
Question about some other players. Lee, what do you think about Reggie Taylor and Dan Held? Joey of Hamilton Square wants to know, and also your plans for J.R. Phillips and Gene Shaw.
Well, Reggie Taylor is really coming on strong at Piedmont. Roy Matika told me he thought he was the best hitter he had on the club after the first 3 weeks of the season. Danny Hell's got a lot of power. We're going to keep a long look at him. And the last 2 were who?
J.R. Phillips and Gene Shaw.
Gene Shaw, you know, we all like Gene Shaw. What a great guy he is. He's starting to hit the ball again, and we're just going to kind of have to hold on and see if something, injuries happen. You never know what could happen up here. J.R. has been up and down. You know, he needs to make more contact, and you know, if he could ever do that, if he could make some contact, J.R. could be in the big leagues.
Okay, another player, Jeff in Feasterville, wants to know about Adam Eaton.
Adam Eaton, that's a number 1 that Mike Arbuckle drafted number 1, a foul bunt there. We're still in the process of trying to sign him. He had a little bit of a shoulder problem. We've had him examined. Before we go any farther, we want to make sure he's healthy. In fact, I think he's pitching tonight, and we have a couple of our scouts there to see him.
I thought I just saw something about going down and checking Eaton out.
Right. And if all goes well, we'll probably start the negotiations here again with him.
2-2 pitch coming here. Foul at the plate.
Well, we've been talking about a lot of the young guys and the future of the Philadelphia Phillies. A couple of questions about a couple former Phillies. Do you think that Mike Schmidt, Jim in the Northeast Philly, wants to know if you think Mike Schmidt will ever be a part of the Philly organization in the near future?
Oh, I don't see why not. I know he's been the greatest Philly of all. I think Mike is really putting a lot of his time into his golf game. There's a ground ball to our man Roland.
No hesitation on that one.
Boy, it looks like he has a real nice arm, Lee.
He really does, and he's accurate with it and everything. But, you know, Mike Schmidt is a great athlete. You know, if he could probably get that golf stroke down another hole or two, he could probably play on the tour.
Looking at that senior tour, he's getting up to approaching that age as we see Roland with a strong throw across the infield. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier, Lee, that he will not make the same mistake twice, and did not hesitate at all with that ball. Got rid of it quickly.
He's letting it fly now.
Another former Philly, third base coach Larry Boa. Karen wants to know if you think that Larry will ever manage again in the big leagues.
Roland, what a nice stop. He gets up and throws. Oh, it's dropped at first by Zeal. Tough play for Zeal. That's going to be scored. An infield single for Gallego, and Mabry takes third.
Take another look at it. Roland stretches out, able to just glove the ball as he hits the ground, gets himself back up. Good strong throw to first base, just a little bit low. Todd Zeal not able to dig it out, but a fine play by Scotty Roland, cutting that ball off in the hole, saving a run for at least a moment. Could have been an out had Zeal been able to pull it out of the dirt at first base, just not able to handle it. And Jim Fregosi is on his way to the mound right now, and that will be it for Michael Mims this evening. Jim Fregosi going to go to his bullpen. Ron Blazer already on his way in, and Michael Mims' evening is over with. So we have a pitching change at Veterans Stadium. Michael Mims is out, Ron Blazer's in, and we will be back in just a moment.
It's back, and it's even better than before. It's the biggest Ford sales event of the year. Ford's factory-authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer, with great clearance prices on Ford Explorer, America's #1 sport utility with switch-on all-wheel drive, the most room in its class, and the highest quality rating. Plus, Explorer now has V8 power for more towing capacity. Save now during Ford's factory-authorized clearance. If you've been waiting to buy, see your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get a clearance price on Ford Explorer.
So what's your favorite section?
It's the restaurants. Because I love to eat out. Of all the listings here, you're constantly thinking of where to eat, and they're all right here. I mean, you definitely don't have time to drive around. Saves you gas and headaches. See different concerts. And then you can just look up in the front, and it tells you all the seating.
Buzz zappers.
Buzz zappers. And it's got everything. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
How are you? Thank you for coming. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
Now Michael Mims towels off as he leaves the ball game trailing 3-1. To this point, he has given up only one earned run, but that's all the Phillies have in the ball game. He is, however, responsible for the 2 men on base. And Ron Blazer now takes over for the Phillies as Mims becomes a spectator. The right-hander Blazer, 2-0 for the Phils, 3.82 earned run average, making his 21st appearance tonight, all out of the bullpen.
And Lee, as Blazer takes his warm-up toss, let's revisit that question from Karen about Larry Boa and the possibility of him managing again in the big leagues.
Well, there's been some talk about that. We've had a couple of clubs inquire about him, and we would never stand in his way. You know, sometimes if a guy wants to manage, sometimes you got to go down to AAA and get a little bit of experience. And I think Larry's probably thought about that a couple of times, but I see no reason why he shouldn't get another chance. I think he's learned a lot under Jim Fregosi here. He's got a good temper, and I don't mind a temper in a guy as long as you keep it fairly under control. But, you know, Larry's a live wire. I would have to say he may get that opportunity someday.
Andy Bennis at the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight, a double, and he scored one of the Cardinal runs. It's 3-1 St. Louis, and Blazer has his work cut out here. Bennis can get a run in here if he hits a ball to the outfield.
And final question for you, Lee, before you leave at the end of this half inning, and thanks a lot for coming over and spending the time with us. As always, we appreciate you coming over and being so forthright with your answers to our fans' questions. The last question comes from Bill in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. He wants to know, what are your most pleasant surprises and your biggest disappointments about the '96 season?
Well, I guess someday I'll look back, and I hope I don't say, my goodness, all the injuries we had when I had this job. But, you know, we've had a few guys here that I think Mickey Morandini has really made himself into a good all-star player. I hope a lot of good things are going to come yet this year. Being associated with Eisenreich, what a player he is. You know, disappointments was Grace 7-2, and all of a sudden he's out of it. And even Tyler Green, who had such a good first half, and he did hurt himself, and we know that. But there have been some good ones and some bad ones.
On the ground to second, and oh boy, I want to tell you, Relaford almost got Morandini killed on that play. Cardinals pick up a run, and it's 4-1 now.
Again, the AstroTurf gets Relaford not able to handle the ball cleanly, and then gives Mickey a low throw at second base. If this ball is handled cleanly by Relaford and got rid of quickly to Morandini, good and accurate, we have a chance for a double play on Bennis, who does not run well down the first base line, but once it's mishandled, the double play goes out the window, and the Cardinals add a run.
And Bennis picks up his second run batted into the year. So he's out at first on the fielder's choice. Clayton the batter now. He is 0 for 3, having struck out twice. It's 4-1 St. Louis here in the 6th. Clayton thinks about bunting, does not offer, and the pitch is ball 1.
Yeah, it's a little rough start for Relaford tonight. You know, you got to feel for him, and nobody feels worse than he does.
Yeah, you hate to see a guy struggle in his first ball game. He does come with the reputation of having a lot of range at the position. Here's a dunker down the right field side. It is a foul ball, fortunately for the Phillies, because it was not going to be caught. Lee, Relaford has apparently not played a lot recently on the turf. Is that true?
No, he really hasn't, and they were priming him for second base, Seattle was, because they've got Rodriguez at shortstop, and I think this kid was in a little bit of a downer, you know, after he knew he had no chance with Rodriguez, and now they're trying to make a second baseman out of him. So, you know, it's going to take him probably a little time, but we do know the kid has all the ability, and, you know, if it looks like he can't do it here at the moment, you know, there's nothing wrong with him going to AAA, but we would like to take a good look at him.
Yeah, and last year at AA, he was voted the top defensive shortstop in AA baseball. So, you know, he comes with the credentials of being a good defensive ball player, even though we have not seen that in his initial appearance tonight.
Eisenreich in spot to get it, and he does, and that'll it. Lee, we'd like to thank you for joining us so much. You've done a fine job, and we appreciate all the info. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Cardinals get a run in the inning. They do so with 2 hits, and they leave 1 man on base. The Cardinals lead the ball game by a 4-1 score. We're going to go now to Todd Callis, who has a special feature for us. Todd?
That's right, Andy. You know, in between games, we saw the Wizard, Ozzie Smith, getting the accolades, getting the gift from the Phillies, handed over by Larry Bowa. It was kind of a special moment. Larry Bowa, of all National League shortstops, has played the second most games. Playing the most, the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. And Bowa gave him the highest praise. He said he was the all-time best defensive shortstop. And here's more from Larry Bowa on the Wizard.
He had a flair about himself that I don't think anybody else can try to even copy him. I think the one drawback is a lot of young kids try to do things he did, and they can't do it. He'll be the first to tell you, don't watch me if you're a young kid, because he does things, he throws off the wrong foot, bare-handed balls that he probably should catch in the glove, and there's only one of him, and you try to teach the youngsters just to do it the right way. I think the one thing that I think Ozzie's more proud of than anything is the way he came on to hit. That had a lot to do, I think. It sort of reminds me of myself, because when we both came up, they said, you can't hit. And they said the same thing about Ozzie. I remember people saying, you can't hit. He turned into a very good hitter, a very tough out, but it was through hard work and dedication. And I think the fielding always came natural to him, but he worked at it every day. You see him taking his ground balls, and there's no doubt in my mind that he'd be on the first ballot. And my hat's off to him. He's had a tremendous career.
That skinny kid who couldn't hit, they said it about Larry Bowa as well as Ozzie Smith. Ozzie ends up with over 2,600 major league hits, and he talked about taking ground balls. I know that Desi Relaford just got to the ballpark in between games. They're actually right at the start of the first game of the doubleheader, so no chance to take grounders. Larry Bowa will be out there with the fungo, you can be assured, with Desi in the next few days. But a special tribute, Larry Bowa talking about the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. Go back to Andy and Teak.
All right, Todd, there is the Wizard, and it kind of makes you sad to think that you're seeing him live and playing for the last time here tonight. He scored the only run in that first game, by the way, which the Phillies won 2-1, and the Wizard crossed the plate. Well, now Andy Benes has retired 12 batters in a row and suddenly has a 3-1 lead here, 3-run lead. It's 4-1. Top of the lineup here, Otero leads it off. He has struck out on line to left. And give Benes a little something to work with, and he can be tough. Otero went 1 for 4 in the opener tonight, which the Phillies won by a 2-1 score. That's foul.
And Benes kind of an enigma all those years in San Diego. They kept talking about what great stuff he had and what a great pitcher he should be, and never quite, matured into that. Started out on a rocky road here with the Cardinals this year, and then all of a sudden, he's got it together, and he's finally seems to be reaching that peak that people predicted for him so many years ago. You see right there, no ground ball outs in this ball game. We saw that in the first game from Springer. And if you don't hit the ball, you can't make a ground ball or a fly ball out. He gets Ricky Otero in that wide strike zone on called strike 3. Take a look. Schaefer slides to the outside. Glove just a little off the plate. Benes puts the ball in there. Mark Hirschbeck says that's close enough. Ricky Otero returns to the bench.
Strikeout number 5 for Benes. The hitter now will be Morandini. And Mickey takes it high for a ball. Mickey singled and scored back in the first inning after picking up a stolen base. Mickey's been hot lately. 9 hits in his last 21 times up there. Well, Benes misses on a close pitch and falls behind 3-0. He's walked only 1 batter tonight. That was Scott Rowland leading off the second, and he's started his 13 straight run right after that. That's over for a strike. Rowland walking to start the second is the last batter to reach for the Phils. Strike 2 called.
And if memory serves me correctly, the walk to Rowland was a 4-pitch walk.
It was. Didn't get a thing over. There's ball 4, and the Phillies have a base runner here on a walk to Morandini. Second walk issued by Benes. Sunday night starting at 7. Catch the many moods of Jack Nicholson in the Prism Sunday night double feature. First, see Nicholson's sensitive side as he stars with Deborah Winger in Terms of Endearment. Then at 9 o'clock, Jack has a howling good time when he stars with Michelle Pfeiffer in the chiller Wolf. The Prism Sunday night double feature starting at 7 exclusively on Prism. Jeffries sends one to the gap in center field, but over there to close that gap is Langford. Back at first is Morandini as Jeffries is retired. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Now there are 2 outs in the inning, and Zeal coming up. Andy Benes has been kind of economical with his pitchers tonight, Teak.
Well, he's been around the plate. We mentioned only the 2 base on balls, and the first one to Rowland didn't take very many pitches at all. 4. He did run the count full to Morandini before he walked him, but very efficient, throwing the ball over the plate, and of course he has that nice strike zone to work with, and he's been taking good advantage of it.
He has not had to work out of the stretch very often. He is right here because of the walk. Todd Zeal went 2 for 4 in the opening game tonight. The Phillies are playing their 3rd doubleheader of the year. They did not win a game in the first 2 against Cincinnati. The Cardinals are playing a twin bill for the first time. It's low, ball 1 on Todd. Andy Benes trying to get ahead of his brother. He's been behind him all year in the win column. His brother took a no decision in the opening game of this series. So his brother Alan is 10-6 and Andy 9-8. So standing to pick up win number 10 tonight if he can hang on here.
We talked at the end of the first game about the problems that the Cardinals have had in their bullpen, as well as Bennis is throwing. It would behoove the Phillies to try to get something going against Bennis and get him out of this ball game, because St. Louis has not been very successful when they've gone to that bullpen over the course of the year. There you see Alan Bennis watching big brother do his work tonight. But if you can get to that Cardinal bullpen, you got a chance.
A check swing right back to Bennis. He underhands to first, and that takes care of the Phillies here in the 6th. No runs, no hits, one man left on base. Chris is back to join Teak in the 7th inning with the Cardinals ahead by a 4-1 score.
Telephone, please.
Yes. How do you say there, wise guy? I'm across the way in the other restaurant. You thought you were cute bumping into me like that, spilling my beer, huh? Yeah. Hey, Pickle Nose, I'm talking to you. Come on over, we'll have a couple of cold Bud Lights, me and you. You got the wrong guy. I don't got the wrong guy. Don't you see me waving? No. Can you see me jumping up and down? I got the feather hat on. Who are you talking to? Hey, I'm whoa, not. there, Charlie, you're going a little quick there with your hands. What are you trying to throw the fisticuffs again? So I don't think there's any call for that now a second time. Is there, tough guy?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Bud Light, I said.
The banners are going up, which means the best savings of the year. Ford's factory authorized clearance is back at your Quality Plus Ford dealer with clearance prices on America's #1 sellers like Ford F-150. Now drive one for the unbelievably low payment of $187 a month for 24 months. Just $187 on a '97 F-150, America's favorite pickup. Save on Ford's entire lineup of best-selling vehicles during Ford's factory authorized clearance. Hurry to your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
The man who has killed 5 women in this city was just in your apartment. All I know to do is change your locks, tighten up your security, and pray. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Well, folks, we've used Prism Link already once tonight when you were talking to Lee Thomas. We had nearly 50 responses, and we appreciate that very much. We'd also like you to get on the internet now on Prism Link the same way you were before when sending questions for Lee Thomas. Let us know who you think should be the player of tonight's game. Prism Link at AOL.com. Did a great job with Lee Thomas getting the questions for him. Please stay on the job. Give us your votes for player of the game as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Cardinals ahead by a score of 4-1, and Chris Wheeler has rejoined us to do the play-by-play the rest of the way. Wheels,
all right,
back.
Teak, thank you very much. Hope you guys had a good time.
We most certainly did.
50 questions.
50 questions.
That's good.
We unfortunately were not able to get all 50 of them to Lee, but we did get quite a number to him. I think we were in the mid-20s. We got about 50% of them on there, and Lee with some very straightforward answers about the questions that the fans had.
Oh, he'll do that. He'll give you good answers on stuff. It's a very nice feature, and I'm sure we're going to have Lee back again. How about at the end of this month he'll be back with us?
Well, we talked about the trading deadline, and of course that's a time when the general manager is very active, and of course at the end of this month now it'll be time for the expanded roster in September. We'll be talking about the call-ups and who may or may not be the players to be called up and take part in the month of September with the Phillies with the roster expanded. So Lee will be back with us and answer your questions again.
Ron Blazer is the pitcher. He came on for Mims last inning. It'll be Langford, Gant, and Jordan to face him here in the 7th inning. Nicely played doubleheader so far. 2 hours and 38 minutes in game number 1, and this one moving along quite smartly. 4-1 in favor of the Cardinals. And Blazer goes 3-1 now on Langford. Andy Bennis, a tough customer, mentioned coming into this game 6 straight victories and pitching very, very well, and he has done it so far again tonight, giving the Phillies just a first-inning run thus far. Blazer pops up Langford behind the plate. It'll go out of play into the crowd. Nice catch by a fan with a glove down there. There he is. Now you can look at it.
Not taking it out of the glove.
Pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's why I brought the glove.
How's that box doing down the left field line? Is that baby empty?
No, it's still occupied, but they haven't had any more action down there. the Bermuda Triangle.
There he is. There's a guy that caught the ball after the other people got relocated after touching a fair ball. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. A foul tip actually held on to by Mike Lieberthal. One out here in the 7th inning as Langford's gone on strikes. Sunday, August the 11th, 1:35. Jeff Bagwell and the Houston Astros are here. A dynamic-looking T-shirt featuring Greg Jeffries in a contemporary design, emblazoned on a white T-shirt. Colorful and fun for all fans 14 and under. That's compliments of Modell Sporting Goods. So we'll see you out here. Call 215-463-1000 for your tickets. Ron Gant, the batter. Gant is 2 for 3 with an RBI single. Blazer misses outside. Mims going 5 1/3 innings, charged with 9 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned. Strike 2, says Mark Hirschbeck, or strike 1. That Ron Gant has some guns. He's one of the stronger looking players in the game. Look at this guy.
Now he's healthy. No doubt about it.
Wow. Outside, 3-1. Hard to believe he was a second baseman. Came up in the Atlanta organization.
That's like you have to take him out on a double play. Awful.
Checks. Ball 4. He walked him. Walk number 1 issued by Blazer. Number 2 by Phillies pitching tonight as Mims walked 1 in his 5 1/3 innings. And that will bring out Brian Jordan, who got the Cardinals off to a fast start in the 1st inning with a long 2-run home run into the seats in left field. Since then, he has grounded out and walked. And Jordan batting a solid .301, 14 homers and 76 runs batted in. This guy's going to have a 100 RBI season. Pop up behind the plate. Lieberthal off with the mask. It'll go back into the crowd and out of play. As it bounces around several times down there before somebody finally grabs it. Brian Jordan's career high in runs batted in, 81 last year. Career high in homers, 22. He has 14 home runs. So he has kind of been flirting with being a good player. Last year he had a breakthrough season, and this year he has arrived. No balls and 1 strike to Jordan. High and outside. Guy who once played in the same defensive backfield with Deion Sanders for the Atlanta Falcons.
At one time they were both 2-sport athletes. Now they are both 1-sport athletes. Of course, they're on opposite sports. Deion strictly a football player now.
There goes Gant. Lieberthal's throw is low and wide. It trickles away, backed up by Relaford. So a stolen base for Ron Gant, his 9th of the year.
Yeah, think about Gant and how strong he is. Also runs very well. Lieberthal with that ball down and away, not able to make a good throw to second base. Actually on the 3rd base side of second, Morandini not able to handle it. But Gant is at full acceleration after about 2 steps. Hard into second base on that head first slide.
There's a guy that stood straight up when he ran. I mean, he was straight up and got an unbelievable jump. Jordan fouls 1 back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan's had some injuries throughout his Cardinals career, and that kind of set him back a little bit. And this year, for the most part, he's been injury-free. Ron Blazer, 2 balls and 2 strikes, looks in at Lieberthal for the side. And a base hit to center field. Here comes Ron Gant being waved around. He's going to score. Throw is cut off at the mound by Zeal. 5-1. Cardinals lead it on an RBI base hit by Jordan, his 3rd run batted into this game, his 77th of the season.
Lines this ball right back through the middle, right over Blazer's head as he ducks out of the way as that ball whistles into center field. Ron Gant, we mentioned, with the good speed. Ricky Otero with no chance at all to throw him out at the plate, so Todd Zeal just cuts that throw off as it comes back to the middle of the infield. And Brian Jordan with his 3rd RBI. He's driven in 3 of the 5 Cardinal runs this evening.
Yeah, and Gant gets him a run there by stealing a base. And Jordan can run too, should he decide to go. He's stolen 15 of them. Here's Gary Gaetti. Swings and misses at a breaking ball. Gaetti has flied out twice and then hit into a double play with the bases loaded his last time up on a nice play by Scott Rowland as he stepped on third, fired to first to retire Gaetti. Bases were loaded with 1 out at the time. Jordan flinched a little bit as Blazer threw over there. What a job he's done with runners in scoring position. That is updated. So 442 for Brian Jordan.
Darn near half the time when he gets guys in scoring position, he gets a base hit.
There's a hit to right field. Great jump by Jordan. He's heading for third. Eisenreich's throw is late. And runners at the corners now for the Cardinals on a base hit by Gary Gaetti. So the Phillies, who have won the first 2 games in this series, are in trouble in this one. Jim Fregosi on his way to the mound. Steve Fry out there, and he's going to make a pitching change as Gaetti singles to right.
That was a fastball on the outside half, and Gaetti just went with it, did not try to pull it. Brian Jordan knows that the ball is going to fall in front of Eisenreich, knows Ozzie has the long throw to third base, doesn't hesitate at all at second base.
So there he is. Runners at the corners, 1 out. A pitching change for the Phillies. Ron Blazer leaves. Steve Fry on his way in from the pen. And we'll be back right after this.
Time. You never seem to have enough of it. Gotta go here, gotta be there. So when do you have time to bank? Midnight? Sunday morning? Why not? At Mellon,
Thank you for calling.
we offer 24-hour telephone banking services, hundreds of ATMs, full-service offices, plus many Acme Market offices open 7 days a week. Sound convenient? Call 1-800-MELLON-24 and find out how you can bank where you want, when you want. Mellon PSFS.
It's taken an entire year to build. Along the way, things were changed, rules broken. Now it's finally ready. Announcing the Dodge Summer Clearance. Get a great deal on Dodge Caravan, the first and only minivan to be named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Buy for 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Better act now, because summer clearance means our best sales year is nearly over. And it will take another 12 months to build our next one.
Cardinals building their lead in this one. Now have a 5-1 lead in the top of the 7th inning. Out hit the Phillies 11-2. Their third pitcher of the game is the left-hander Steve Fry, coming into number 30. All of them in relief with a record of 0-1 and a 4.41 earned run average. He's coming on to face the left-handed hitter John Mabry. With runners at the corners, a run in here in the 7th and a 5-1 ball game. Phillies won the first game 2-1 behind Russ Springer and Ken Ryan. Brian Jordan, who's been the hitting star of this ball game, at third base, talking to the coach Tommy Reynolds, and over at first base, the veteran Gary Gaetti.
Steve Fry has not fared very well with the runners that he has inherited. 10 of the 18 are all that he has standed, so 8 of 18 have scored, and Steve Fry has come into the ball game with runners on base. He's got runners right now on the corners, just 1 out, and would try to get Mabry to induce him into one of those ground ball double plays right now. Nice 2-hopper to second base would probably get the job done.
Mabry doubled and scored in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 7 in the doubleheader. Looper off the end of the bat and a base hit. Jordan will walk on in. 6-1. Cardinals on RBI base hit by John Mabry. That looked like a nice approach that he had there. He didn't try to do too much with it.
Well, had he tried to pull this ball, he probably would have hit a ground ball to second base, ball down and away from him, but just kind of extends that front arm, reaches out and able to get enough of the bat on it to get it out over The shortstop's head into left center field, so John Mabry indeed does not hit into a double play. He gets a base hit, and the Cardinals now lead by a score of 6-1.
Gaetti stopped at second. Danny Schaefer breaks his bat, grounds one to Zeal. Whoa, he'll go to second for one. He got that throw in close to the runner there, and Relaford made it. 3-6 on the play. Gaetti over at third. Safe at first is Danny Schaefer, and there are 2 outs.
Todd Zeal catches his ball almost in the baseline, has to throw the ball over Mabry to get it to Relaford at second base. Difficult throw for a first baseman, especially one who's not used to making that throw.
You know, I'm glad we saw that angle, because from our angle, I thought something looked, you know, like there was disaster imminent on that.
Well, it was right in the baseline by the time he fielded, so, you know, Mabry, a pretty good-sized guy, he had to throw it over the top of him.
Gallego fouls it off down the line. Yeah, normally what the shortstop's supposed to do on that play is to give him an angle either inside or outside, depending on where the base runner's going, and there was really no angle there.
No, there really wasn't, because Todd Zeal was just in perfect alignment with second base, so all you do is throw it high, get it over the base runner, and hope that your shortstop can handle it. Desi Relaford able to handle that and at least get the force play at second and get the out.
Gallego, a 2-hit ball game. He has his average over the 200 mark now at 214. Started this game at 189. Hasn't had many at bats, just 56. Activated this month after tearing a hamstring during spring training.
Talking about Gallego and how he's been swinging late this whole series. Jim Eisenreich planted almost on the right field line, well over against the right field line in right field.
Pulls an off-speed pitch foul. Rowland made the play anyway, threw it past Zeal, but it was a foul ball. It was called immediately by the third base umpire, Steve Ripley. So Gallego will come back and we'll start all over.
Well, Rowland does the right thing. If in doubt, go ahead and make the play and let the umpire make the call later. Ball close to the bag on the third base line, so Scotty Rowland says, well, doesn't cost anything to go ahead and throw it across the diamond, just in case it's called fair. But it was a foul ball, and Mike Gallego returns to the plate.
Chucks out his bat. Count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gallego. 2 men on with 2 outs here in the 7th. Cardinals with a couple of runs, and they now lead it 6-1.
I just keep looking in right field. I don't think I've ever seen Jim Eisenreich play that close to the right field line.
Unless it was a pitcher hitting. Struck him out. That'll do it. As Fry strikes out Gallego, but 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. 7th inning stretch time. Cardinals 6, Phillies 1.
I just got a promotion and a cellular phone. My little brother got one too.
Not that I'm competitive.
I got the big calling plan.
I got a local plan. My job's more focused.
At Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile, cellular service isn't one size fits all. From phone features to calling plans, you get services that fit your life.
I also got voicemail.
You did?
Hmm? I want that.
Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile.
Time. You never seem to have enough of it. Gotta go here, gotta be there. So when do you have time to bank? Midnight? Sunday morning? Why not? At Mellon,
Thank you for calling.
we offer 24-hour telephone banking services, hundreds of ATMs, full-service offices, plus many Acme Market offices open 7 days a week. Sound convenient? Call 1-800-MELLON-24 and find out how you can bank where you want, when you want. Mellon PSFS.
Sure, they're having fun playing the daily number. But are they having as much fun as they could be?
Not if they've forgotten to buy these, the tickets. Hi, I'm lottery ball number 7. Let's see what would happen if they remembered.
The daily number from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Get in the game. It's fun.
Smoltz, Glavin, and Maddox lead the Braves into town Monday, August 12th, Tuesday the 13th, and Wednesday the 14th at 7:35. Then Thursday the 15th at 1:05 for the final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. And all fans receive a free Pride of the Phillies poster. Bonds and Williams lead the Giants in Friday, August 16th at 7:35. Saturday the 17th at 7:05, and Sunday the 18th at 1:35 when fans 14 and under get a big league back-to-school binder. Call 463-1000.
We're back at Veterans Stadium, bottom half of the 7th inning. 6-1 Cardinals lead the Phillies. It's kind of family night here at the ballpark. We talked to the Rollins earlier. Now, they took the unconventional method of coming up from Florida by driving. Linda Rollins a little afraid of planes. But here we have Winston Relaford, the father of Desi Relaford, and you took the more conventional method. You flew up here and got up here, what, in time for the second game?
Yeah, I got here about the 7th inning of the first game.
And did you know, how did the whole day work out? Did you know Desi was going to be here tonight?
Well, it was kind of mad because we were watching ESPN on last night, and after I saw that he'd been traded, and then of course he called me shortly after that, and we talked about it, but he wasn't sure whether he was coming here or whether he was going to AAA, so he wasn't quite sure. So needless to say, this morning was quite hectic trying to figure out, and the logistics were incredible.
You live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I know Desi grew up with baseball. He was a Jacksonville Expos bat boy, is that right?
Well, yes, he was a bat boy for the Expos. Played high school ball in Jacksonville with the Sandalwood Saints there.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see your son bat either this inning or possibly in the 8th inning, but pretty exciting that first time when he ripped that ball. As we see Ozzie take a ball in the left field for a hit. First time up, he hit a ball that off the bat looked like it had a chance to leave the park. Did your heart jump?
That was exciting. I'll tell you what, I was really pulling for that one, man. I really put every ounce of positive thought that I had behind that ball, but it didn't make it out. But he'll do good.
Winston, we appreciate you joining us. Welcome to Philadelphia.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
Back upstairs, Wheels and Teague.
All right, Todd, that guy looked a little bit like Ron Gant. Same kind of build.
He could play a little bit, too.
He looked, yeah.
Winston may be able to play a little bit.
It looked like he could go 9 easy. Here's Scott Rowland. He has walked and struck out. $22,934 here tonight as Eisenreich leads off first and Rowland takes a strike call. Rowland has shown a little displeasure with some of the pitches called by Hirschback, which is not a great idea when you're a rookie.
No, it's your first night in the big leagues, only your second ball game. You know, umpires are probably a little more prone to.
Yeah, he's getting him tonight. I mean, it's like, I'm going to show you. Because last time he was up, he took a walk out, fixed his gloves, and now anything close is a strike.
You see Schaefer setting up way inside off the plate, pitch even a little further in than that. Rowland jumps back. Obviously, somebody has talked to him the first time. He doesn't say a word this time, just a little quick glance at Relaford and heads back to the bench. So somebody, one of the veterans over on the bench, has told Scotty, hey, you know, it doesn't do any good to start squawking and complaining because it's only going to get worse, and I think he just learned a lesson.
Yeah, you could see that the last time he was up that there was going to be a problem, and they either need to talk to him or, as Teague said, have talked to him, because it's like anything else. You know, this game is a game of adjustments, and they'll test you. And the guys in blue will test you.
Oh, and the guys in blue are going to prove that, you know, yes, I am indeed in charge of what's going on out here. That's the first thing a young player is taught by the umpires, that, yes, we are the men in charge.
Yeah, he's finding that out
just
tonight.
got the lesson.
Lieberthal beats one foul third base side. Yeah, what they need to tell him, of course, is, you know, when he struck out or when he had that pitch called on him the last time up, was don't take a walk out of there, fix your gloves, and act disgusted like that, because they see that right away, and then anything close is going to be a problem for you, especially when you're young.
Yeah, and you don't want to get a reputation of the guy that complains a whole lot. And Scotty Rowland is not that type of person. Everything we've seen of him in spring training and everything we've heard from all the coaches and the managers that he's had along the way is that he's a very solid individual, and, you know, it's just one of those bridges that everybody has to get over, and Scotty Rowland is taking the trip across that bridge.
And they say he's coachable, too. Lieberthal, a high chopper to Gaetti. He's going to go for the lead man, Eisenreich, and got him. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Lieberthal,
Eisenthal, yeah. Izzy will like that one. 2 outs as Gary Gaetti gets him at second on the fielder's choice. And that's going to bring up Winston's son. Todd, we're going to head on down to you to watch Winston's son hit here.
Yeah, Wills, you mentioned that his father looked a little bit like Ron Gant. Well, ironically enough, Desi's older brother, Bert, played in the minor league system with Ron Gant when he was a member of the Braves. And Desi's father, Winston, said he never played baseball, just a football and basketball man. But he still looks like he's in shape. You're right.
He sure does. fouled away. See if his son can get his first major league hit while you're down there with him. 1 ball and 1 strike on Desi Relaford.
If so, we'll get the reaction.
Yeah. Lieberthal, the runner at first base. There's Mike. They're not holding him on in a 6-1 game. High chopper. It's a base hit to right field. Lieberthal heads for third. Jordan's throw is cut off. Lieberthal safe at third. Desi Relaford with his first major league hit.
How about it, Winston? How you feeling right now?
Hey, I'm feeling great, man. The first night to the park and his first major league game, and he gets a hit. That's exciting.
You wake up this morning in Jacksonville, Florida. You had no idea you'd be in Philadelphia watching your son play major league ball.
Not really. Not really. I was hoping I would be here watching him playing ball, but as it turned out, it's great.
Hey, we hope you can share that moment with him after the game. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, Todd, good job. That's nice to see. Both those young players getting their first major league hits in this doubleheader tonight. Rowland in the first game, and now Desi Relaford in this game. That'll bring up Ruben Amaro. Ruben will be batting for Steve Fry. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. And Ruben takes a strike call. There's Amaro at 311. Had a 4-hit game here the other night when he got a chance to start in right field. Right at Gaetti. Ruben hit it hard, but right at the third baseman. That'll do it here in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Phil's leave 2. We're through 7 6-1s Cardinals.
Hold on, here he is.
What's up?
Hey, what's up there, Lefty? You know what you got to do? Get us a bucket of Bud Lights there going, okay? Hello?
You work with Chuck?
Yeah, we're going to be there in a little while. You know,
Wait, is he coming?
Well, make sure they got Bud Light. That's all I'm asking you for.
They got a ton?
You know, we're going to schmooze this guy.
What do? You work in swaps?
What are you, wise guy?
What are you talking about?
Come on, don't be a wise guy. These guys are crazy.
Who?
Oh, the boys, Chucky and the guys. Listen, did you bring the cigars?
I don't know. Wait a minute. You work with Chuck?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Bud Light, I said.
It's taken an entire year to build. Along the way, things were changed, rules broken. Now it's finally ready. Announcing the Dodge Summer Clearance. Get a great deal on Dodge Caravan, the first and only minivan to be named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Buy for 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Better act now, because summer clearance means our best sales year is nearly over. And it will take another 12 months to build our next one.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. Make it a Bud Light. By Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. Switch today to Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile Cellular Long Distance and get free cellular long distance all weekend long. And by your Quality Plus Ford dealers and the all-new Ford Windstar. With a 5-star rating, Windstar beats every other minivan in government crash tests.
Saturday night at 9 o'clock, Philadelphia's own Will Smith takes to the mean streets of Miami. And the action-packed Bad Boys, together Smith and TV's Martin, are 2 cops who team up to save their precinct and have some in the process. I think we got a typo on that one. Bad Boys are coming for you Saturday night at 9 exclusively on Prism. Our score is 6-1 in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals, and yet another major league debut going on in this ballpark. Teak, and who is this?
This is Bronson Heflin. Just called up today from Scranton. Began the season with a Double-A Reading club. See right there his numbers at Scranton. Was promoted to Scranton on June 7th, and of course his contract was purchased from Scranton today by the Philadelphia Phillies, and our 3rd new member of the Phillies makes his first appearance in the major leagues. Bronson Heflin.
Bronson Wayne Heflin, 6'3", 200-pounder, born in Clarksville, Tennessee, resides in Nashville. As Andy Bennis chops one up the middle, Relaford throws him out, 1 out here in the 8th inning. So Bronson Heflin retires the first major league batter he faces, the pitcher Andy Bennis.
We don't know a whole lot about Heflin except that he is a sinker slider type guy. Does not walk very many batters.
0 at AAA.
At AAA, he has not walked a batter.
As far as we know, Todd tells us that the family of Bronson Heflin is not here. It's been family night here. The Rollins are here. The Relifords are here. But so far, we have not heard about the Heflins. In fact, Todd's up in the back of the booth, so it's going to be tough to find the Heflins up there.
They're not up here. Talk about Heflin in his control. 25 2/3 innings at Scranton. Did not walk a batter. There you see that slider. At Double-A Reading in 25 games, pitched 29 innings. Did have 15 walks there with 27 strikeouts. But control is his forte, and keeping the ball down and getting the ground ball is what we are told he does best.
That's a fastball, and it backed up a little bit. Caught the outside corner, according to Hirschbeck. Clayton walks away. First major league strikeout for Heflin.
Tailing fastball on the outside part of the plate by Heflin. Starts it away, tails it back toward the outside corner. Of course, that has been a strike all night long and continues to be a strike as Royce Clayton has returned to the bench. Bronson Heflin now has his first major league strikeout.
And now he faces Ray Langford, 1 for 4 with a run scored. Heflin was picked in the 37th round by the Phillies in June of 1994. He was originally drafted by the Yankees in 1990, did not sign. Phillies pitcher of the month in August of 1995 when he was at Clearwater. Fastball hit the second. Morandini picks it up, and Heflin goes 1-2-3 here in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Phil's bat in the 8th, trail it by 5.
Philly Fanatic Rex. He's so great, you just gotta try him. 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 New Philly Fanatic Franks. You just gotta try him.
Movies, sports, music, a great combination you can only find on Prism. Watch terrific Hollywood hits like Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys, and Sigourney Weaver in the thriller Copycat. Catch great baseball action when the Phillies battle the National League's best in games you can only see on Prism. And listen to the most original regional music on TV with Prism's acclaimed music programs. Movies, sports, music, a great combination on one channel. Prism, the best thing about home.
Sunday, August the 18th at 1:35, Big League Binders. Phillies and the Giants, a terrific new item for back to school. Phillies red binder with logos and zip around closure. Plenty of room, perfect for all school needs. And they're for fans 14 and under. Barry Bonds in town. Big League Binders, Sunday, August the 14th, 1:35. Call 463-1000 for your tickets. To the top of the order is Andy Bennis. Has gotten through 7 innings and given up just 1 run on 4 hits. That coming in the first inning. That run by the Phillies. Ricky Otero, the batter, 0 for 3, struck out twice, line to left. Otero fouls away. Kind of a nice gesture, Teak, as that inning ended. A baseball earlier for Rowland, a baseball earlier for Relaford on their first major league hits as Bronson Heflin came off the field. As we check out some scores there, Todd Zeile handed him the ball.
Yeah, everybody should have a baseball, and Bronson Heflin will remember his first inning in the big leagues. It was just a routine 1-2-3 inning. Got his first strikeout, and Todd Zeile at the end of the inning presented him that baseball that was the ball that he received from Morandini on the ground out by Ray Langford to complete that 1-2-3 inning. So all 3 of the new players making their major league debuts tonight go home with souvenir baseballs.
And there is Heflin sitting on the Phillies bench.
I'm sure he had that in his jacket pocket as we were watching it.
Here's the 1-2 to Otero. Pop-up. Playable. Who wants it? Gaetti down the line. The third baseman in fair territory makes the play. And Andy Bennis is giving a little clinic tonight, Teak, on why he's pitching so well.
Well, I mentioned his last ball game, 8 innings, just 4 base hits. He's now into the 8th inning of this ball game, has given up just 4 base hits. And it's not something that's just happened the last couple times out. He's been on a roll and pitching very well for the Cardinals.
Former #1 pick in the whole country back in 1988 when the Padres selected him out of Evansville, Indiana. And he has always pitched well against the Phillies. There are his numbers coming into the game tonight. He is 2-1 against the Phils this year with an earned run average of 2.38. And unless something happens here, on his way to 3-1. Mickey fouls it out of play left side. Morandini in this game is 1 for 2. Mickey singled, stole a base, scored in the first inning, lined out in the third, and walked in the sixth. Andy Bennis will be 29 years of age on the 29th of this month. 6'6", 245-pounder, 84 and 85 in the big leagues. 3.73 ERA. He's trying to even his big league record at 500 tonight. Kind of hard to believe that he doesn't have a better record. Now, of course, he pitched for some bad Padres teams for a long time.
Yeah, but he was one of those guys that could just never seem to get over the hump. You know, he had the great stuff, but just really didn't know how to put it all together. But it appears, at least as if the second half of this season with the Cardinals, all of a sudden, Andy Bennis has kind of figured out the formula.
Won his first major league game, a complete game, in fact, right here in this ballpark. He's always pitched well here. He and Mickey Morandini were a member of the U.S. Olympic baseball team at one time. And the big guy at 101 pitches, pretty good ratio. He's kept the ball off the ground tonight, kind of the same way that Springer did in the first game. A lot of fly ball outs, strikeouts. Another foul out of play. And Morandini continues to battle his old teammate. He's always hit Bennis well, too. He has a lifetime 400-plus batting average against him. And it's another foul. Bennis going away, and then coming back inside. He spoils one. Bennis has had his fastball up over 90 tonight. That slider, they say, was 84 miles per hour. Struck him out, away. 2 outs here in the 8th.
They mentioned he'd been pitching away, and then comes in with that one pitch that Morandini fouls off on the first base side, goes right back to that wide outside corner, gets the called third strike.
Strikeout number 7 for Andy Bennis. He has walked 2. Comes in high to Jeffries, who single knocked in the Phillies' only run in the first inning. Greg then lined to left and lined to center. Playing a doubleheader in left field this evening.
Well, I mentioned Greg Jeffries spending his first night back in the outfield tonight. Also, we did not mention that today is Greg Jeffries' 29th birthday, celebrating a birthday, so gets a new position as a birthday present on August the 1st.
Clayton. Andy Bennis threw a strong 8 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 9th inning coming along, 6-1 Cardinals.
Travel provided by U.S. Air. U.S. Air is proud to announce new daily nonstop service from Philadelphia to Madrid, Spain.
Jim Herr doesn't put his name on just anything. But then Jim Herr doesn't make just any snack. Make hers yours.
Less pollution.
More training. More pedaling.
Less pollution.
More sweat. More hills.
Less pollution.
More sore thighs.
Who's reducing air pollutants by over 3 million tons a year and donating natural gas vehicles to the Olympics? Pico Energy, proud member of the American Gas Association's Clean Air Team, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympics.
Every dealership is getting ready. The savings are big. It's the biggest Ford sales event of the year. Ford's factory authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer with $1,500 cash back on Ford Windstar. Rated highest in safety over the Chrysler minivans. Now get $1,500 cash back on Windstar. Plus get rear air conditioning at no extra charge. Save on every Ford car and truck during Ford's factory authorized clearance. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get $1,500 cash back on your new Ford Windstar.
Tomorrow night after the game, don't miss the Prism Music Magazine, a 30-minute look at the best in local music. This month, Prism salutes Philadelphia's annual folk festival. Hosted by radio's Helen Light, it's the Prism Music Magazine tomorrow night after the game, exclusively right here on Prism. Helen Light, who used to host a terrific program called Breakfast with the Beatles.
It was on every Sunday morning, and one of the traditions in the Philly clubhouse Jeff Cooper started was Helen Light and Breakfast with the Beatles every Sunday morning. And just tack one more on the board, Ron Gant, deep, deep, deep to left field.
Yeah, that was a baseball that Heflin doesn't want.
No.
Because that took a long, long ride to deep left center field as Ron Gant bombs his 20th home run of the year. So Heflin had a 1-2-3-8, and now in the 9th inning gives up a bomb.
Just in case Bronson Heflin thought it was going to be easy. It's not.
Breaking ball fouled away by Jordan off the face of the press box down into the crowd. 7-1 now in favor of the Cardinals, who appear to be on their way to split this doubleheader. And the Phillies will win 2 out of 3 in this series. Beat the Cardinals 2 1-run games, and now 7-1 St. Louis. Jordan hits one high in the air. This one's playable. Jeffries and Otero look at each other. Now Otero takes charge. Ricky puts it away. 1 out in the 9th inning. Brian Jordan's had a big game, Teak, so he could be a candidate for
our player of the game. And anyone who wants to has not voted yet, Prism link at AOL.com. Jump on the internet. We're closing this one out pretty soon, so get your votes in for tonight's player of the game. An announcement will be made during the post-game show.
Gary Gaetti 1 for 4. Tops one foul third base side to Rowland, who makes himself a new fan. Tosses one to the crowd. 22,000. What was that attendance, Teak?
934.
22,934 here for this makeup Twine-Nighter. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Gaetti. Breaking ball, top to Rowland, to his left, throws on the run, got him. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Scott Rowland's had a little activity in this game. Didn't have much in the first ball game.
And he did make that one mistake in the first game of holding on to the ball too long. And as Lee Thomas mentioned when he was here, Scott Rowland very seldom makes the same mistake twice. All of a sudden now has been unloading the ball quickly over to first base. So Scotty Rowland, the astute player that we heard that he is, has proven exactly that here in game number 2.
And Tony La Russa, a little flair for the dramatic, brings Ozzie Smith out here to pinch hit for Mabry, as this game is well in hand for his ball club, it would appear. 7-1. So here comes Ozzie, who tips his cap to the crowd. They honored him between games.
One more chance for the fans of Philadelphia to show their appreciation for the work of Ozzie Smith over the years, and they are on their feet applauding the Wizard of Oz.
And Ozzie lost the first pitch to left center field, where Otero puts it away, and that will conclude Ozzie Smith's great career here in this city. Had a batter up there that said, "We love you." Ozzie Smith heads on back to the dugout, and we want to thank Ozzie Smith for all he's done for baseball all these years. What a great player. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. 7-1 Cardinals.
The Rittenhouse has gone all blue by offering their employees health plans from Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
We need to take care of our employees as well as we do of our guests. We wanted to provide the finest that was available in the Delaware Valley, And that's why we chose Blue Cross for our employees.
Go all blue with personal choice. Keystone Health Plan East or our traditional plan from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. The folks you can lean on.
Time. You never seem to have enough of it. Gotta go here, gotta be there. So when do you have time to bank? Midnight? Sunday morning? Why not? At Mellon,
Thank you for calling.
we offer 24-hour telephone banking services, hundreds of ATMs, full-service offices, plus many Acme Market offices open 7 days a week. Sound convenient? Call 1-800-MELLON-24 and find out how you can bank where you want, when you want. Mellon PSFS.
We want to tell people what we do, so they know something about our business before they actually come to us. The Yellow Pages is a major, major source of business for us. And if it wasn't effective, we would have stopped. But we get 50% of our leads from the Yellow Pages. That's how people find us. If you're not here, then people say, well, what kind of a business are you?
Are you one of the 9?
I'm one of the 9, absolutely.
How are you? Thank you for coming. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
And seated there in the Cardinals dugout with his head down writing is the veteran Tony La Russa. Long time manager in the American League, now over here in the National League for his first year. Saw an article on him in Sports Illustrated a couple of weeks ago, and he says how much he loves to manage over here because of the double switches and not having the DH, and how managers come more into play in the National League.
Yeah, they have a chance to make moves, and one of the moves that he just made right now, Mark Sweeney replaces John Mabry at first base after Ozzie Smith got his pinch hitting appearance, and a touch of class by Tony La Russa giving Ozzie Smith that last at bat here in Veterans Stadium. There's been talk, about the fact that the relationship between the two has not been all that smooth with the situation with Ozzie and Royce Clayton and all that, but whatever the case may be, La Russa showing a lot of class, giving Ozzie that one last at bat.
Todd Zeile grounds out as Andy Bennis is 2 outs away from his 3rd complete game of the year. Well, I think the tension was lifted when Ozzie Smith announced his retirement. They had one more little go-round after that. And since then, it seems to have calmed down, and I think they're going to be able to coexist the rest of the year.
Well, you would hope so, because, both of them outstanding gentlemen. We talked about Ozzie and, his great career, and, of course, Tony La Russa, a longtime manager in the major leagues, and has always been known as a class guy.
Hey, they're still in it. I mean, in the Central Division, they're not only in it. I mean, they're a heck of a chance to win, right? They're in front of it and have a chance to win. See Ozzie Smith in postseason play. 2 outs, nobody on base now as Eisenreich flies to left. And here is Scott Rowland as we look at Tony La Russa. Rowland has walked and been called out on strikes a couple times. As anything close has been a strike in his last 2 at-bats.
Find the first one that you can reach and get a piece of it.
Andy Bennis trying to give his ball club a big lift, as they had lost 2 in a row to the Phillies. Ball 1 to Rowland. Coming into play tonight, St. Louis Cardinals with a half-a-game lead over Houston. Rowland fouls one away down the right field line, out of play. The Astros are not playing tonight. Scott Rowland with 1 hit in the first game, 0 for 2 in this one, so he's 1 for 6 early on here in his major league career. Late swing and a foul off to the right side now to play. So Andy Bennis now a pitch away from a complete game in his 7th consecutive win, where he would go 11-2 in his last 13 starts after beginning the season 1-7. Some turnaround for this big guy. Ball 2. Ripped, but right at Gallego. Rowland hit it right on the nose, but right at Gallego, and that'll do it. A complete game for Andy Bennis, who now ups his record to 10-8 and is now a .500 pitcher in his career. 2 hours and 23 minutes. Ozzie Smith in his final game ever here at Veterans Stadium. And the St. Louis Cardinals make it a winning one as they whip the Phillies in the 2nd game of the doubleheader by a score of 7-1. Phillies win the first game 2-1 and split the doubleheader.
St. Louis Cardinals win it by a score of 7-1. We'll be back with lots more right after these messages.